All right, should be good to go. Look. Everybody look. Look. It's all the way down here. You gotta scroll. But then look. It's me! And look! It's Brave! If they would have put Axo in here, I would have got really suspicious. Like, if Axo is in the shop with all of this, then it would have been Brave, Epic, and Kaz all in the item shop at once. How crazy would that have been? Yo, Baby Baseball, welcome back. Thank you so much. Fred, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. V, welcome in. Morty Morrison, hello, hello. Thank you for all the follows, guys, while I was off stream. We got Paper Girl, Pitts Batman, Savage Matt. Thank you for all the follows while I was offline. Just in case you're popping in right here at the beginning of the stream. But if you're not already and you do enjoy my videos, code EPICBRICKS in the item shop is more appreciated than you'll ever know. My creator code is my username, so exactly with a K, Epic with a K. And also, for everybody who's already supporting me, huge shout out to you and thank you. And a reminder, if you want to continue to support me or your favorite creator, whoever you are supporting, remember that every 2 weeks, Epic Games will reset this to nothing. So you do have to go in and, if you're trying to continue to support someone, every couple of weeks, just go in there and double check, make sure it's still typed in there. Otherwise, for all the support up to this point, thank you so much. There's still Snow Opal. How do I get an Epic code? So you go to, I believe, just Google like Fortnite creator code, and it should bring up like the, I believe it's like Epic Games. It's basically through the Epic Games website. I think it's like a derivative, like secondary Epic Games website, possibly. Now I can't remember, but it should be pretty easy to Google. Now, when you sign up, it's not impossible, but basically the one stipulation they have is you have to have 1,000 followers on a platform. And then I think if I remember correctly, you have to have, if you don't have the 1,000 followers, you have to have like, and it sounds silly, but you have to have like spent a certain amount in the item shop in the last like 90 days, and you can like bypass the follower thing, I think. Well, think about it this way, Paul and Fred. So you want like, I think you could get a creator code if you tried to get one. Like, if you want to be a creator. Now, here's the thing. What's not in a bad way, but like, what's the point of getting a creator code, right? If you don't have a platform, like if you don't have like, and that's like not in a bad way again, but if you don't have a platform already on any socials that have 1,000 followers, I'm not going to say there's no point in getting a creator code, but you got to remember, getting a creator code doesn't necessarily get you anything off the bat. You want people to obviously use your creator code. And if you don't have a platform where you're posting content already, it's going to be hard to get that code out there anyway, if you had one. So what I would say is drive towards creating content. And that way, you know, you have a goal in mind of like 1,000 followers on TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is. And that way you can drive towards getting a creator code. And when you get that creator code, you'll already be posting content for people to be able to possibly use that code. Does that make sense? Yeah, same with creative maps. So what I would do is like, even if your end goal isn't to be a content creator and you just want to be a map maker, here's the other part. When you become, if you want to be a quote, like a successful map maker, you don't necessarily have to be a content creator, but you're going to want to get good at promoting your maps that you're making. And usually that's going to be by posting videos. So even if you want to be a map maker, you should make an account for the, like your map making brand. So like if you wanted to make creative maps, you could call it Chris's Creatives. You know, I'm just making up a name here, right? So you would call that page like Chris's Creatives, and that's where you would like post content about your progress on making a map. When you're done making a map, you post that here's the map code, blah blah blah. And as you're learning to use UEFN and even make maps, again, you'll be building up the skills, posting videos, hopefully getting a little bit of following, so that way you can get in. I think that would be your best route if that's your goal. What are we supposed to do in Lost Isles? So in Lost Isles, there's you need to level up a village of your own. You just build a village square anywhere you want on the Lost Isles. Getting that up to level 10 will unlock you some decor. And then there's some side quest stuff that's not completely necessary, like finding the Nana village, like the Nana Brotherhood village, whatever it's called. There's like, I think 2 of them even. Now that's kind of like, again, I don't think those ones unlock you anything, but it's kind of like a fun thing to do if you do end up finding it. What's all the legendary weapons? You're about to see. How do you get wool? From sheep's. Are you trying to get wool fabric by chance? Sorry, I just started the stream, so I'm trying to catch up on chat here. Getting through my intro and stuff. And answering questions. What Lego do I have? I have a lot of different Lego. All sorts of different Lego. Yeah, so if you want wool fabric, what I would do is you, in any given village, tell the villager to do the job create textiles. It should be under the refining category or something. But you want to look for create textiles. Then what you want to do next is make sure that you have the spinning wheels. You know, the spinning wheels right here. If you have any spinning wheels in that village, you want to delete them. The reason is you only want, and then you want to make sure you have a loom built. And then it's important to have the spinning wheel gone because here's the trick. When you send the villager on create textiles, if you have a loom and a spinning wheel, that villager is going to use both of those machines to make the materials to give you. Now, if they use the spinning machine, it's not a bad thing, but they're going to give you like cord, drawstring, wool thread, silk thread, which again isn't terrible, but if you get rid of the spinning wheel, it forces the villager to just use the loom. And then when you tell the villager to do the textiles job and they can only use the loom, well, the only thing the loom actually makes is silk fabric and wool fabric. So at the end, when your villager is done doing that job, instead of giving you stuff from the spinning wheel and stuff from the loom, they only give you stuff from the loom, which means you're getting like a big old handful of wool fabric and a big old handful of silk fabric. That's weird. I shouldn't have pre-rolls, but I think I think for the first like 15 minutes of my stream or something, it's like automatic pre-rolls, and then after that, I think people don't get pre-rolls. I can't remember how it works. I know I have overall pre-rolls are turned off, but I think no matter what, I think it's at the beginning of the stream, there's pre-rolls for like a mandatory amount of time, and then it goes to how I normally have it set up. But here's all the legendaries. So I still have some Shatterhorn items to, not some, but a big handful. But I did all the Shatterhorn in gold. Now I just need to get the other 7 categories with Shatterhorn. But as far as all the gem-based legendaries, you're looking at it right here. Actually, I wanted to try something. How does it actually look with the... Where, do I have a telescope thingy somewhere? I thought I did. There we go. I want to see if it would be like, oh, too close. There we go. You can see, now you can really see them. Shiny. Yeah, let's go and see our guy. How do I get a legendary weapon? I have a video on that on the top of my TikTok page if you want to check it out real quick. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Shiny. All the sapphire ones, it's like sapphire and frostpine looks so good. Are you ignoring me? No, I promise I'm not ignoring you. How you get Eyes of the Storm without Raven? So I have a video on that as well, but basically, you know where the storm, the storm dungeons, the caves that are at the center of the storms. So the enemies inside of those caves, on the break 3 crystal layers, they'll actually spawn the acolytes like forever and really fast after you kill them, and you can farm those guys for Eyes of the Storm. That's actually how I got all of these Eyes of the Storm plus more. I've got, what is that? 360 or something. I can't even tell you. It's a lot. I've got a couple of stacks there. I can't do math right now. But it takes a while. You're not going to get as many as I did there, like, in an hour. It's going to take some time. Yeah, I kind of did too until, like, last night. I was like, you know what? I wonder if using the spyglass would help me to show off the weapons a little bit better. And it's working pretty well. Like, I'm finding, like, I got a use for it right now. It's just an optical zoom for the... See, like, honestly, all the stuff, even though it has blue worked in there, all the Frostpine variants ended up looking really clean. Recommended charms. So, once you defeat the Storm King, you're going to get what's called a Shatterhorn Fragment. I think it's in this section. Yeah. This Shatterhorn Fragment you get from defeating the Storm King, and he only drops 1 when you defeat him. And you can defeat the Storm King once a day, so that means you can only get 1 of these once per day. So you need them to make these legendary charms. However, other than the legendary charms, if you don't have those ones, which eventually you will if you're fighting the Storm King, what I would recommend is the Epic Health Charm, because it actually gives you 4 hearts, just like the Storm Charm does. The Storm Charm just also gives you a bigger storm timer, and it also reduces... It gives you, like, storm damage armor, in a sense, so it's definitely better than the Health Charm, but they do give the same amount of health. Now, when it comes to the Epic Regeneration Charm, that one's really decent. It does regenerate some of your health over time. It's pretty slow, but it does regenerate your health over time when you have it equipped. The difference is it only gives you 3 hearts compared to the Epic Health Charm, which gives you 4 hearts. So between these two, it's a trade-off. It's a personal decision whether you want 4 hearts and no health buff, or 3 hearts and the health regeneration buff. So between these two, they're basically very similar as far as like how good they are. But what do you favor more? That 1 extra heart or 1 less heart, but you get a little bit of regeneration? And then there's obviously the cool-headed and the inner fire charms. Now, those are only really going to be necessary when you're going into a desert cave or a snow cave. Because that's really, for the Storm King update, they made it so before the Storm King update, there was cold and there was freezing, and then there was hot and burning, right, for the other side. And before the Storm King update, even if you were just regular cold or regular hot, you would take damage slowly. And then when you were either freezing or burning, then you would take more damage. Now, after the Storm King update, they made it so just regular hot and regular cold, they don't actually damage you anymore. So it's only the burning and the freezing, so the 2 extremes. You used to take damage like on the full scale on hot and cold. Now you only take damage on the extreme side of the scales for hot and cold. So the only time you'll really need these 2 charms is when you go into, like I said, a desert cave or a snow cave, because the desert caves will make you burning, and then the snow caves will make you freezing regardless. So that's pretty much the time you're going to be flip-flopping these in and out. But otherwise, like I said, you only really, because you used to kind of need to carry them in the Frostlands, because again, in the Frostlands before the update, regular cold would actually make you take damage, and it would also make you, I don't think that one made you walk slow. I think it was just freezing. But that's the thing, is freezing, it damages you and makes you walk slow. And then it used to get sometimes hot out in the desert, and it still does, but it was very rare. But now when it gets regular hot outside in the desert, it doesn't damage you anymore, so you don't have to worry about it. So like that's kind of the breakdown between the different like epic charms. Because I don't even, like, honestly, the reflection charm, I haven't tested it, but there's no way it's any good still. And especially since there's no epic version of it. So this, even if the reflection buff is good, I mean, look at it. It's giving you only 2 hearts because it's a blue rarity. So, I mean, like, that gets immediately outclassed by, like, a regeneration or a health charm, obviously, immediately, because that's just way more hearts, way more benefit. And then even the charmer grants... See, now the resilience. That one might be decent after the update. I haven't played around with this one, and I don't think I've built one in this world yet. So I guess technically I could equip 2 of these, but then you're obviously, again, you're losing 2 hearts compared to the storm charm or the health charm, so that would be 4 hearts total if you replace 2 of them. I don't know if gaining that armor is any worth it. Yeah, oh yeah, less shields too. I forgot about that. Okay, so the type of fish that only storm enemies drop, that's kind of a bugged one. It's not supposed to necessarily be in the codex. It's just a legendary storm flopper. You can get it from a storm wild bear dropping it. However, you can also just as more easily fish it out of a lake. So I got my legendary storm flopper just from fishing in this grasslands lake for a couple hours. And I caught it while it was storming. However, I do believe it still is possible to catch it while it's not storming. It's just, it would be a much lower chance. And most people are going to end up, if it's storming, you're likely going to catch it before you would ever catch it while it's not storming. Just a few hours. Yeah. On stream. I stream 4 hours a day, so usually it's fairly light work. Shiny. It almost looks cooler at night. I mean, the amber ends up looking like Shatterhorn. Like, this is amber. It looks so dark at night. Like, you can almost, like, it does almost look like it's the Shatterhorn ones over there. But these ones are just amber. But at night, they kind of, like, lose all their yellowish color. Because that's actual Shatterhorn right there. Yeah, charms have definitely been nerfed. I think, like, it's been overall rebalanced, I think, really well. Because in expert mode, obviously there's people like me and others who can do it, like, kind of almost no matter how hard it is. But they toned it down and amped it up. Like, they did make the enemies weaker at the same time they made all the charms weaker. So because before the update, I don't know if you noticed in expert mode, if you ever watched me play or if you played yourself, but in expert mode, if you were fighting a high level enemy, like anything past the desert biome in expert mode was literally like 2-shotting you. And that might sound like kind of fair, but I mean like quite literally, if you were in the Frostlands and it was a roller, a wolf, I mean, you were always 2 shots away from death. And this game gets to a point where obviously, like, look at the acolytes. Look at the Storm King. Like, yeah, I'm really good at the game, but can I go the whole Storm King fight without getting hit 2 times in a row really quick? That's rough, dude, especially with how many enemies and attacks. So, like, it was easy or balanced before this update, but just imagine the old system with it. It would be like, trust me, I love a good challenge, but you got to remember, although it's expert mode, they still got to, like, balance it for, you know, the average expert player at the same time. But I think this update would have been crazy because they threw a lot of the enemies that, like, especially in the acolyte department, there's just so many of them that it's like the Star Wars caves with the those were borderline impossible before the update. I'm not saying they were, but they were so, you had to cheese them basically to get through it. Best weapon, I'd say ruby, sapphire, or I'm sorry, ruby and gold, or sapphire and gold are the best. Now, I do have to, actually I shouldn't have skipped that nighttime. So during the day, I'm going to actually need to, right now, the goal, I'm going to build a museum base. But I kind of need to get these weapons built up and like I got to get some blast core and cursed bones. The reason being, some of the green rarity tools, I don't know why I went that way. Some of the green rarity tools, there's a bunch of different materials you can use for green. One of them is blast core, and the other one is cursed bones. And I have a decent amount of these two items, but when you get, like, when I'm trying to do all of them, you get into the pickaxe, and the pickaxe ends up costing, like, 5 cursed bones, and I need to make, like, 8 of these, and then the axe, I think, costs another 5 cursed bones per axe, and I need to make, like, 8 of those or something like that. So I definitely need to farm up some cursed bones and then some blast core. And then the step after that is I need to pick a location, so maybe I can do that while I'm driving around looking for blasters. But I want to find an area that's like kind of far away from here. Not too far away, I don't think. So that way transferring stuff is easy. But I'm thinking like somewhere over here. Like, what's that? Yeah, let's go that way. Because I want to, if I'm going to build something, I want to build something like where this stuff isn't within render distance. Because even though all of this stuff isn't connecting and it's pretty spread out, I think eventually you will get a warning that says, like, to just build somewhere else kind of warning, where it's not even because you built too complex. It's because you just have so much going on in one area. Yeah, I think, like, I've had vehicles be stuck in the ground, like, under the ground, or just, like, the wheels won't move the car, because I've had that happen definitely plenty of times where I have to, like, relog, because, like, the wheels are just, like, cemented into the ground. But, yeah, it's a bit disappointing, even, trust me, for me, where it's, like, the game, and I'm almost considering, like, we were in an absolute beta phase for, like, a full year, and now that this update came out, I feel like now we're day one, so, like, hopefully you would imagine if this is like the real 1.0 of the game, the Storm Chaser, you know, Storm King update, I would really hope that they would follow up with like, oh, if this is like the official beginning of the game, then let's finally address some of those big bugs, since this is like now quote unquote official launch. Like, let's get that stuff wrapped up. This is a big mountain, but it doesn't have a lot of surface area. It wouldn't make a very good like display storage base. I mean, down here would. There's enough area. Oh, wait, what about that hill? That one looks good. If I cleared that one, that could make... I like building on hills. I don't know why in the grasslands. Elevation. Yapper? What do you want me to do? You want me to just stay silent while I'm playing? Or do you want me to talk about stuff in the game that I play? I mean, I don't care what you want, but, you know, that was rhetorical. Like, you know... What is a streamer to do while they play but talk about the game they're playing? Yo, Bricksport, how's it going, dude? Yeah, this looks like a pretty good spot. Like, it's elevated, but I could make it really pretty. Because I kind of... This one doesn't have to be efficient. It just needs to be pretty and display stuff, like, efficiently. So... I'm kind of liking this spot. I could clear this or even leave some of the stuff and, just make, like, a really cool display building. Like, this is a decent spot. I'm trying to, like... Yeah, because I can make it go all over this hill. I could break some of the trees if I need to, but this is, like, a really cool spot. Because I could go for a flat spot, but I like the idea of, like, a display building like this. It would just make it harder, because at the same time, if I did build somewhere flat and open... the floor plan could be much more like symmetrical and easy to plan out, where this, I like this spot, but now that I think about it, it's gonna, because I want to display like obviously all the legendary weapons next to each other and leave room for expansion. So this spot's not terrible, but, or as good as I thought, but it's also not terrible. But I'm thinking we could try to just go somewhere really flat-ish. Let's look over here. That looks like it's elevated, but flat. Is your storage building on a foundation? Yeah, essentially it's like... Because it's a bunch of lumpy ground underneath it. So I just built up a couple of blocks. And then... So that way the flatness that I built was over every lump. So it's like artificial flat that I made. Because obviously my storage base is like a really big area. And there's not really that many... big natural flat areas. Like, this is about as flat as you can get. Like, this isn't perfectly flat, but obviously you can see, like, this is a kind of just a lucky open area, which isn't a bad spot either for what I'm trying to maybe do. Because, again, it dips down over there, but, again, if you build at a high point and then make that your ground level for your building, so this would be another really good spot just because of how, like, and here's another tip. If you want perfectly flat, if you find one of the broken down POIs on the map like this, it can be any one of them. I like the ones up there. So up there was some perfectly flat. But if you notice, about goes to here, there's a perfectly flat circle going all the way around the perimeter of this naturally placed ruins or POI or whatever you want to, because you can see right here it starts to get a little hilly, but you can see basically in a perfect circle going around this house. This right here, like where I'm walking right now, this is actually like perfectly flat. So if you want to find an actual flat, it's not going to be like unlimitedly huge. Like obviously you can see the limits. It goes from like the hill starts like right about there, you can see. So the hill starts like what, right about there, and it starts to go down and it gets a little curvy. But so it goes from like there, and then like on the opposite side, you'll be able to see. And sometimes you get lucky and it goes from being perfectly flat to like mostly flat, but a lot of times you'll be able to see where the flatness is like over with. So if I were to go to the opposite side of this house, you can see it's like perfectly flat there, and then over here it starts to get a little bit, it's not flat, but it's also not too lumpy, but the flatness kind of ends like right about there, and it gets a little bit hilly over here. So again, if you want a perfectly flat area, I might actually choose this spot. That's actually not a terrible spot at all. I like this because I can just break all this down, clear out all the trash, and then this will give you a nice flat area to work with, so I don't have to worry about like building over hills. So this might be what I do. Just put in a makeshift thing, just so I remember where it is. It is a tree-lined valley. We are in a valley. Look, there's a mountain there. There's a mountain there. That means that this is a valley. It's so on point. It's like it knew. I mean, it's not necessarily... It's valleys are between mountains. These are more hills, but you know what I mean. And for a LEGO game, that's a mountain. So we're literally in a valley. Look at that. Look at how accurate that is. I'll show my base here in a second here. I'm kind of just throwing down a pinpoint. And I don't even have to farm the stuff right now. I can actually, you know what I'll probably do? Is I might start the building design. Whoop. Come on. I was trying to actually, like, take off. Sometimes I can get it going, like, straight up. I can take off like a freaking rocket ship. It's kind of funny. But you know what I can do is I can start the building project now. So that way we can get into it and do something actually creative. But since I need to farm cursed bones, and I can only really get cursed bones at night, it might be advantageous to start my build, start planning it, and then every time the sun goes down, I just take a break from building, go get some bones, and then as soon as that 5 minutes of night is over, bada bing, bada boom. Which, like, right now, I'm actually gonna... I don't know if these are regular wolves or if they're bone wolves, but... No, they're regular still. I need them to switch over to the nighttime animals. I think if I go out of render distance, I should start finding... Yeah, I was going to say. There should... Skeletons and bone wolves should be spawning now. There we go. So, now that it's nighttime, I'm just going to smack some bone wolfies. What do I got? Yeah, I got what I need on this. So the non-glowing ones give you 1. The glowing ones give you 2 cursed bones, I noticed. And then you can take them down with luck and then possibly get double. So if you take out a regular one, you have a chance to get 2. If you take out... this one's a Storm Wild regular one, so I don't know if that affects the loot at all. I don't think it does. I think you still just get 1. Yeah. Unless luck were to pop off. But the glowing wolves, they're a little bit stronger, like the glowing skeletons are, but they're definitely worth it because they will give you an extra bone even if you don't have luck. Oh, that's the auto farm. There's a village here. There's gonna be nothing here. As I say, there shouldn't be any animals here since there's a village. But then again, I'm like driving right at my base. We need to go When it's nighttime, I just need to drive around as fast as possible so I can find the skeleton wolves. Yeah, how's it going, Stein? If I break bills that was already planned.
Good evening, Akip and chat. I wish we had a sleep trough day now.
Arguably, maybe, yeah, but I don't think there's any, like... It's theoretically, it sounds like it passes the sniff test, like it might work, but I don't know if that would be, like, worth the time. Like, if you were just to break this and break all the other stuff, like, maybe? I don't know if anybody's tested it, but, like, theoretically, it sounds right. Come here, you barking glow stick. See, those give 2, and that wasn't even because of luck. That was just because they give 2, so they actually have a chance to give 4 if you have luck applied. We're farming bones, we're farming bones. So you just drive around aimlessly, and the glow-in-the-dark ones, they're easy to see, but I basically just drive around with visual sound effects on. So, like, boom, right there. It took a second for them to render in, you could tell, but one, I can see that one, and then you could see on my visual sound effects there was another one, like, right behind me, too. Double curse bones. Not double, but 2 off the glowy one. And the thing is, sometimes you'll see a wolf come up on the indicator, but if you go, like, too quick out and in of render distance, they'll, like, literally disappear, like, almost right before your eyes. Oh, where does he go? There he is. Oh, no. Oh, I thought I saw the other ones diving in for the night. What's your goal now? I'm gonna start building a museum display base for all my cool stuff, and then anytime it's nighttime right now, I'm gonna take the opportunity to farm these wolves. I wish they traveled in packs like all the other wolves in the game. Like, I wish I could find, like, 5 glowing bone wolves out randomly. I wish that was, like, a chance to spawn. You know, because, like, that's the thing about this game is, like, you want the outside world, and they've been doing a better job of it, like, especially with the storm dungeons, like how you can get 3 bears. Like, that's a cool curveball to throw the player. So, like, I think we should get those same kind of, like, curveballs out in the world, where it's, like, sometimes out in the world, you almost get, like, a mini boss encounter, like, out in the grasslands. Like, maybe some nights you walk out and you find, like, 6 bone wolves just chilling by a chest, and when you take them all out and open the chest, there's something cool in it. Oh no, it's daytime. My loot. My loot. Best gem for a sword is ruby or sapphire, most likely. If you really favor having more durability on your weapon, then amber. But otherwise, sapphire and ruby are generally the best. The reason sapphire is good is because you get the extra rune slot. Now, having 4 rune slots isn't always necessary or like always best in every situation. So having ruby, the benefit of ruby, because you don't get the extra rune slot from ruby, is ruby gives your weapon more attack speed, which is a really good trade-off in a lot of cases for not having that extra rune. I really see this is the bug that I'm, like, just absolutely done with. Like, I can't drive for more than 3 to 10 seconds without it being like, oh, did you mean your character was 15 feet back this way? No, I don't, game. My character, you remember where I placed the seat? You remember where my character got into that seat when I started driving the vehicle? The game's like, yeah. Well, like, I want my character to be there. And the game's like, wait, not 20 feet back from that spot every chance we get? And you have to be like, no, I want to be in, you know, we called it the driver's seat. I want to drive in it. Because look, nobody's up there. Nobody's home right now. Do regular brute scales spawn elsewhere? Yeah, so after the Storm Chaser update, they actually made a really cool adjustment. So a Grasslands brute will just drop the regular brute scale, right? And then the Sand brute drops the Sand brute scale, and then the Frost brute drops the Frost brute scale. However, after the update, they made it so the Sand brute and the Frost brute, not only do they drop their respective Sand or Frost scale, but they also drop a regular brute scale. So if you kill a regular brute, you just get one regular brute scale. However, if you kill a Sand brute now, you get a Sand brute scale and a regular brute scale at the same time. And then if you kill a Frost brute, you get a Frost brute scale plus a regular Grasslands brute scale. So they did make a pretty cool improvement. So like you do get like a little bit more from defeating the higher rarity ones, other than just getting a higher rarity scale. So no matter what brute you get or a takedown, you'll always be getting one of the regular ones. And then they made all of the brute scales epic now, because the Grasslands ones used to be green, I think, but now they're all, so they almost look exactly the same now. So if you take down a Sand brute, you get one of these ones plus, oop, I'm lagging, plus one of these ones. And then Frostlands brute, you get a Frost one plus one of these ones. How do I get better? I would say practice makes perfect with everything. Obviously, you know, I have a lifetime of experience, but I say in this game, learning how to dodge and learning how to roll and make sure you're not getting hit by enemies is a really important part of this game. As far as like being survivable, like, you know, if a lot of enemies are around you and you might, you know, sometimes you just get caught without a shield. So being able to dodge confidently is going to help you a lot. How do I have all this random stuff on me? Should I restart my village in the jungle island and bring it more near the storm base? That's not a terrible idea, but honestly, once you like level up the storm base, it's kind of after you level it up, it's not like necessarily super important if you don't want to ever deal with it again. But otherwise, if you have like, what I would do is, if anything, build like either one of my cars that I have a tutorial for. I also have a bigger like 10 chest hauler tutorial on TikTok, but you could just load up a car with some like necessary stuff and then just drive it over there, and then put down a bus stop, so that way after that, if you do need anything extra, you can just take, it's one bus stop away. But otherwise, that's kind of what I did, is I just took a car over to the Storm Chaser base and stocked it up with some stuff that I brought over from my other base. I don't even want that stuff. Oh, hush phones. Yo, thank you, Hunter, for the ice cream cone. Thank you, Mods, for the heart meat. Thank you, Kyle, for the roses. And then we got some other gifts that I missed. McLovin for the GG 2025s. And then a heart me as well. I can't even read that name, but thank you. Bones, relax. It's just the delivery Amazon person or something. Yo, I'm doing well, Shay. How are you today? It should only be... Stop! It should only be like, I think, 3 minutes of ads per 30 minutes. So it's like an hour or a minute every 10, I think. Or I think it's less than that. I swear I have it like less than that. I have it like on the minimal option for ads on Twitch. I still haven't figured it out, so check it out. I'll show it real quick. Especially if you guys can get me to the first quick milestone of the day, which is 10k likes. Give me a 10k likes for showing you guys this in-person tutorial which I don't mind doing, but I do got some building to get to today. You in expert mode? Yeah, this is expert mode. That's a random chest. Okay, so to put stuff on the wall. I mean, are you talking about like this, like the wall mount, or are you talking about like how I'm like actually putting items on the wall? Because here, check it out. You need to go to toys, controls. You want the pressure plate. You put the pressure plate on the wall because it allows you to just place it on a wall. And then you go to the chest that you want. In this case, I'm just going to use this one. So normally you look at the wall, it doesn't do anything, right? So what you want to do is aim at the black part of this button. So I'm going to take this chest and then I'm going to aim at the bottom of the black part of the button and it's going to flip it. Now from here, you want to make sure it's rotated the way that you want. But when you get it to flip, you need to leave see how my cursor, see how my little dot is going to stay there? We're going to press the nudge button and control. So on controller, that's going to be your directional pad. So see how my cursor, my crosshair, is not moving at all? It's still aiming at the black part of the button. Because watch what happens when I move it. See, if I move it off the black part of the button while you're trying to move it and place it, it's going to come off the wall. See, if I'm aiming at the red part of the button, you see how it pulls it off the wall? So you want to make sure the whole time you're still aiming at the black part of the button. And then you can essentially nudge it around wherever you want. Obviously, if it bumps into something, it's going to turn red again. But we can just put it wherever we want, like right here, and then you're able to place it. And then, boom, it's now technically on the wall. And you can do that with any item. So if you wanted to go to beds and do that same thing, so aim at the black part of the thing, nudge it over till it turns green, boom. And then now you have a Nana on the wall. Got you. I need to remake that video because I do have a video for it. And I don't think people care scrolling back too much, but obviously if I tell people I've got a video on my TikTok and it's like 20 videos back. Although, you got to give me credit. If you go on my TikTok page, I have a lot of answers to a lot of your questions that you probably have already. On my TikTok page, all my thumbnails are very descriptive. I make my thumbnails very specifically so that way they're easy to read when you're scrolling through my profile and you can be like, oh, what's this video? Oh, how to do this. This tutorial, that tutorial, how to do this, how to do that. I've got all sorts of videos covering just about everything. I wouldn't say just about it. It's still got there's a lot of stuff in the game to cover. Why don't I use the gem chest instead? I will. You got to remember that the gem chest came out like, you know, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. But this build has a lot of chests that I already had placed. And it's not that I don't have the materials to make, I can make it about as many gem chests as I want to. But it's a lot of work just to replace all of these. And honestly, right now, these, you know, with what I have, you know, like, especially here, like, I'm not even filling up these chests. So, like, there's almost one, I do want to update them, because they do look really cool. But right now, there's really no reason to upgrade them. And also, when I do upgrade them, I mean, that's just a time dump of me, like, having to make sure I, like, break it, make sure I have stuff, and, you know, it all goes into my inventory, rebuild the other one, put it all back in that one, and then repeat that process about 200 times, or however many the heck chests are in here. So, like, for this area where I built a new storage area for like, the weapons, these, obviously, weren't placed before the update, so pretty much any chest that you see that's new is placed after the update, and then in any of the old chests, those ones were placed before the update, and I just haven't switched them out. Yo, I played Overwatch with you, bro. How long ago? Oh, God. What do I play? Sandbox or easy mode? Whatever suits you best. Sandbox is honestly, if you don't have a ton of time to play the game every day, there's nothing wrong with playing in Sandbox because you get to do all the fun stuff without having to do any of, like, the tedious stuff. Some people might, like me, have fun collecting stuff, but not everybody has time to collect all stuff, like, stuff for hours. So you can skip all that in sandbox mode and just do whatever. Okay, so what kind of storage base? I got to go back to that. What kind of base? I'm thinking castle. Just because I have, like, the most parts for it. Because there's, like, you've got Majestic Manors. You've got Lion Knights. And then technically you have, like, the Star Wars ones, but I'm not going to, like, blend in the Star Wars. But then also technically you have the Halloween Town. And this might not, you know, in this form, it's not really a castle. However, all of these parts obviously can be used individually. Meaning, because they're matching the exact colors of the castle, where is it? It will be a perfect supplement to any sort of castle build. So, like, it's the same color as all the other, like, Lion Knight pieces. So let's just filter by Lion Knight, Majestic, and Halloween Town. And then just look at all these pieces now we have to choose from, even though some of them are from Halloween Town. But, like, this is an amazing castle piece, but it came with the Halloween Town version, or the Nightmare Before Christmas set. So, like, this will make some really cool shapes to a castle, because I do have an itch to build a castle again, and I can make some really cool shapes with this now. This adds, like, a whole extra dimension to the castle building as far as, like, angles and stuff. So I'm really leaning towards castle. But I love, and I guess that's like a Dur castle. That's a Shogun castle. I could just make, like, another classic kind of built castle. I like the idea of having the weapons and stuff stored in a castle too, in a museum style. What time zone do I live in? Mountain Standard Time. I haven't seen much of that since this patch. Wait, I went to see if people were able to combine 45-degree angles, 90-degree angles in a single structure. Yes and no. Like, it can't be, like, physically touching and overlapping. But I've seen some builds recently on Reddit where there's a bit of a gap if you put, like, a 45 right next to a 90. Like, you can get, like, some edges and corners right up against each other without it having a problem. But as long as you, like, do a good job blending it and maybe covering that little gap with, like, some other decorations, so that way you don't see that there's kind of a break in the wall to get that curve or that angle. So it's definitely, like, you can't physically go, like, just build 45 on this. You have to be, like, here essentially. So, like, there's situations where people, like, imagine these two walls, so you would just, like, I think it's even worse on this situation, but, like, essentially you would do like that, to where, like, yeah, you can make a curve kind of wall, and then you could just cover it up with something else, like another decoration or like a light pole or something, so that way, you know, all sorts of things that cover up the fact that there's a gap right there, so that way you could continue these walls going the other way, and then you wouldn't see this gap, but you would still be achieving that overall angle there. And then also, they also obviously have to kind of be planted into the ground, so then when you go back and you do the floor, it's a whole other kind of annoyance of, like, well, how do I cover up as much as possible? So, like, you're still going to be left with some gaps there, so it's a little bit of workaround stuff. I kind of wish they would let us just build 45 degrees on here. If what they could do, because it doesn't make sense. Like, I get it, they're trying to, like, make it true to the LEGO system, but it's a little bit restricting for sure. So when you stream, I stream from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I need short sword craft, so regular, like a regular one. So you can use wood, claws, storm core, claws, mahogany, knotroot, glass, frost pine, flexwood, bones, or frost claws to make a short sword. So if you have any of these things, this is how you can make a regular short sword, I believe. So you need any of these items, and then, so, like, let's say you get flex wood rods. Then you would use the flex wood rods to make it, and then you would also need, you might not have, like, you don't even need to worry about having gold. I wouldn't even combine gold with this kind of sword. So you're probably going to have like wooden rods that you can use as the hilt, and then you could make this sword. There are not floors that go at a 45-degree angle, but obviously there's like roof pieces like this. And I think eventually, like, you got to remember, like, there's all sorts of Lego sets where there is 45-degree building techniques, 35-degree. There's all sorts of angled building techniques in real life Lego. It's just hard to have preset pieces in a game like this. Because again, usually in a set where you're doing something angled, it's like very particular to that build. So it's hard to, like, in a sense, make like a lot of pieces that are like curved. They will fit within the Lego system, but when you're trying to build within this like chunk block building system, which I love about Lego Fortnite, because honestly, people want, and I don't argue we shouldn't get some supplemental individual pieces, but the people that want just individual pieces in this game, that's great and all for some of us, but you got to realize 95% of the people that try to play a game with individual piece building, it is so overwhelming. Look at this game. This is a chunk block style Lego building game. It's real Lego techniques, but you're building with chunks instead of individual pieces. And look at the trouble that the general player, like the average player, has. You know, not many people can just hop on and build custom in this game. And arguably, building in chunks is easier than building in pieces. Most of the difficulty in a building game like this, it's one, you know, there's some creative know-how, obviously, but what it comes down to is like using the controls comfortably. And when you have individual pieces that you're trying to build within a game, it's just going to become incredibly hard to for more users to understand how to use that building system. So I'm still thinking about, I think we'll do castle. That's what we were talking. I get distracted a lot, as you can see. I'm thinking castle would be interesting for a museum, because there's even some pieces from the apartment set that look pretty nice. There's some gray on them, I think. So let's look at here. Go to the walls. Yes, even these make pretty good castle walls. Like, these look good. Like, they're nothing too crazy, but like, that's a good cat. Like, it comes with the Spider-Man set, but like, you can see if you kind of mix and match some pieces from different kits, there's some that rhyme and match a little bit more than others. So like, that's why I like having all the kits, because you never know what kit is going to kind of come in handy and have like, just maybe not some breakthrough life-changing piece, but like an extra supplemental, like the ones I was just showing you, where these pieces aren't anything crazy, but they are a little bit different. They do look nice, and especially like with this corner piece, I could absolutely use this somewhere in a castle build, and it'll supplement it and make it look really nice. So what we're gonna do is, let's load up a car. And do I just make a bigger car real quick? Because those have 4 chests. That should probably be enough, because I don't need too many decoration stuff. But then at the same time, I want like a lot of stuff. Alright, let's load this up. I don't even remember what I need. I don't think I need any of that too much. I just need the basic wood materials for now, and granite materials to build like the walls and stuff. And then when I get down to the decorations, I can make like a second trip back to this base to grab any of the supplemental like decorational type stuff. I forgot I have like junk in here. How old am I? I'm 32. Actually, just turned 32 on December 31st. We celebrated my birthday here on stream. So I have so many vines now. I just pretty much any vines in my bag, they just go directly into the spinning wheels. And then we got, just throw the seeds and the berries there. Then we've got, it's corn. corn and corn seeds, pumpkins and pumpkin seeds, wheat and wheat seeds. Boom. Get out of my bag. Okay. So... hold on. Let me do the little test here. Make sure I got like pretty much everything that I do need. Just put 1 stack of each of these items in my bag, and let me go to see like these. Okay, so I don't think I need sandstone or red rock for any of this, because let me go by the filter. Hold on. Let's do neighborhood Spider-Man, castle, Halloween town, other castle, those. Okay, so I'm probably not gonna. Those walls do look nice. Maybe I will make like a little, like a churchy looking building or a chapel looking building somewhere in the build. I mostly am just worried about castle pieces. Can I build everything castle? It looks like it. I don't think I need anything too special, like until I get down to the decorations. Because I think it's just all basic granite and stuff. Like maybe I'll bring some sandstone just because I have the room too, in case I do want to use some of that. Yeah, I need to, it should be soon. I've been very distracted from content because when I wasn't streaming, instead of making content the last couple days, in all honesty, I was grinding out those legendary tools instead of making content. I got a little hyper-focused, admittingly, so. Okay, let's get back out here. Oh, it's about to be nighttime soon, so hold on, actually. Before we go take all this over to the new museum location, let me run to the restroom now, because it's about to get dark, and then when it gets dark, we can farm. Because I do got to farm cursed bones today. That's one of the goals, is farm cursed bones while we're building. Yo, Edward, thank you for the follow. Also, Lewis Stalator, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Thank you for the follow. And Muns, thank you for the follow as well over on Twitch. I will be right. What would be a nice, is a setting for a fast building, toggle on or off, meaning when you build a pre-build and place it, it builds the entire build instantly as long as you have all the... Yeah. I think something like that'd be great, especially what 100% they need to add in the next year of this game is a, what do we call it? Like a schematics or a, whatever, a pattern thing where you could like, so like if I designed a custom building, I could like upload it to the player, like the user player base database, and like any player could download that like schematic and build my build in their world, just like they're following a paid prefab instruction. That's what I really want, is like downloadable, like an in-game like system for custom builds. So even if it's something small, like, oh, like I've seen plenty of other, like with me, even I posted in the past, where it's like how to build this custom fire pit. It doesn't have to be a big house, but it'd be great if there could be some user community uploaded stuff into a database where any other player and user could download the builds that that other player put up for free use in the community. Oh, it's probably getting dark here soon. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Two hours later.
Yeah, but a building system in the game like that would be fantastic. Where you can have, like, user-built stuff. Oh, I thought it was almost nighttime. Because I was wrong. Did I just miss nighttime? I know it wasn't that quick, but I thought it was about to be nighttime. Maybe it was just cloudy.
Great.
Maybe
I think I got it. But
I'm
just in
crazy.
case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
Did they drop in the next update? No, not yet. Epic is still on vacation for a couple of days. A couple more days, that is. This is almost better done in sandbox too. Like just, I want to get the stuff here, and then I think I might hop over to sandbox to, oh crap, don't hit the car. Oh god. Don't worry, I can rebuild it in like 2 minutes. I should have got out later, not when I did. I should have got out like a second. I should have let him spit at me. Because I was like, I could have just avoided him if I kept going, but I was like, I'm going to stop for the brute scale real quick. And then it turned around on me. Don't worry, I can rebuild the car in like 2 minutes. It's not like I make tutorials for a living as a part of my job.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am
Oh
willing
crap,
to make.
and then I went too early. I failed. Everybody, I failed you all. You got to watch me die. I was not expecting any of that. That was all impromptu. He was a hired actor. Not really.
Soiled it! Soiled it!
I should
Soiled it!
be actually
Soiled
pretty
it!
near where I
Soiled
died.
it! Soiled it!
So where's that marker at? Right, so I'm missing the blue one. Where's the blue chicken wing? Oh yeah, I got exploded, so I don't remember. I was on my way to A. So I'll just take this car. Assuming it's not locked. Oh, it's all over there, I see. I'm coming back for you, Brutus. You better still be there. I'm coming back for revenge. See, now he's like despawned.
He's
I don't
just
get it.
standing there, menacingly.
That and I almost don't even need to rebuild it. So I have multiple cars. You never know what's going to happen. I wasn't even paying attention to my health. I kind of thought, I forgot I had eggs on me instead of the good food. I was like, oh, I'm probably more health than I am. Keeps fighting the brute. That and I goofed up the timing on that stomp so badly. I went so early. It was terrible. Which one was it? Like nothing ever happened. Oh, this one doesn't have rockets on it. Are you playing expert mode? Yeah. That's why you saw me as soon as I spawned. I threw a totem of return on. I had a spare one on me. Always. Oh god, see that's why I have on the other vehicles. I have the flag going sideways because it always bumps into stupid stuff. Yeah, there's a series of unfortunate events, and it just goes to show, like, even a player like me, if I let my guard down and kind of, like, don't try, like, I know that sounds silly not to be trying at all times in a situation like this, but that's what it comes down to, is you play long enough, and sometimes you do just, like, let your guard down and underestimate an enemy you've fought, like, 100 times in the past. But this time you just got a little overconfident. You didn't really think about it. You didn't really think it through. Like, it got my car exploded, and then after that, it kind of just got my brain onto a loop of like, oh, I guess I better watch out. And then it's like, then you just make more mistakes. Where am I driving to? The location of my new storage base. And I guess we gotta throw all of this somewhere as well. Here, all the car stuff. I can go right there. Okay. So I think I might pop into Sandbox real quick. When did Brooks stop being? I thought he was a part of my other village. The reason being is this storage base, I can kind of, I know how big this area is, plus I can always expand it if I need to a little bit. But the reason I almost want to go into Sandbox real quick is because I can build at least like a stencil. I'm not going to build like, obviously, like a full-on thing. But I need to do a little bit of like, probably a little bit of math, a little bit of spacing. Like testing. So that way, when I build it here, I kind of have a, like I said, like a blueprint to do what I, like, have everything fit and organize nice. Yeah, I saw it. I blocked and muted. Should be good now. I'm inside of a cave. Oh yeah, I was doing a video in this sandbox world. Is there an exit here somewhere? There we go. Yeah, way too early on the dodge. That was ridiculous. But it's like if when I fought him as much as I did, you think I would like always do it, but like after you don't fight him for a while, sometimes you just get a little overzealous. So let's just fly somewhere similar. We just need a flat area to kind of build on. I guess I don't even need a flat area. I just need to build on a hill since this is a sandbox. It doesn't matter what's underneath it. Best weapon / runes to eliminate brutes. I would say a sword. Like the dagger is good even in like single player, I would say, because you can get behind the brute for a few of the hits. But ultimately, like sword and spear are going to be your best like top runners. See, this is my sandbox world. This is where here I can show you real quick actually. I have a video of this on my YouTube, and let's hope it all works still after the update. Who knows? Oh, hold on, where is it? Oh, did it break? Where is it? Oh, it's up there. See, this is the double elevator. It's just up here. Let's see if I remember how this thing works. We want this one to go down. And then this one to go over. And then also down, yeah. So this is my multi-level elevator. I do have a YouTube tutorial on this on my YouTube, Epic Bricks. I do have the single elevators tutorial on my TikTok, but this one, which one do I do? Oh yeah, this one to go up. So this one takes us to the first level. And then we hit this, oh, not that one. Then we hit this one to go over, and then it goes up even more to the second level. And then when you go back down, you deactivate this, and then we can go down to the first level by hitting this switch, but then this switch. Oh wait, why is it going down? Oh wait, which one is supposed to activate? Oh, it's because I was supposed to reactivate those balloons first, I remember. So if I want to go, so if I wanted to go down just this, because I don't want to go down to the first level, I want to go down to the second level, so I would do this one, and then I believe I have to do that one. Oops. And then we can undo that one, and then it leaves us at the second level still. And then we can go all the way down to the first level by deactivating this one. I remember now. Yeah, sandbox you can fly. This is where I test stuff out when I'm making my tutorials, and I make a lot of my tutorials here. This is where like I said, I make my tutorials a lot of the times in sandbox. Sometimes, you know, because like obviously they're makeable in regular, but it's just a lot easier if you're recording a video. Trust me. If you record LEGO Fortnite or any sort of building tutorial content, just being able to hop into Sandbox and not have to worry about grabbing materials just so you can show someone how to build something, it's really nice. But you can see like a lot of my, like this vehicle, I've made a lot of different tutorials for this vehicle over time. And now this is too light. They've changed the physics, so that car is like way too light now. But you can see I made all sorts of like examples. So like if you don't have the best tires, I made all sorts of like little car tutorials, and like this one's not necessarily good. Oh wait. Oh yeah, this one has like turning capabilities. This one can like oh, 360. Let's go. I didn't even try to do that. That was sick. I'm Tony Hawk, baby. And then we go off this hill. Then we 360. See, it doesn't matter. Like, you can make a small car that doesn't go that fast with the small wheels, but it's still fun. Dubs Evan with the Super GG. Let's go. Welcome in. Oh, yeah, here's the little... I remember this guy. This is like the one chest flying car. This is like the little one... This thing's sick, dude. Go, go, go. Captain, we're going down. Wop, 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 wop. Should land somewhere relatively in the area where it needs to. When is my store? Probably like towards the end of the month, I would imagine. I don't have an exact date on it yet, but I'll get working on it eventually. Here, let's go over here. Looks like a big enough flat area that I could use. Hit member level 30? Yes! New tag by your name? Oh, wow. That's dope. Can't wait for you to see the elevator I built in the dollhouse. Ooh, that sounds fun. I'll definitely try to make it in there. Because I wanted to go to... I've been wanting to check out some of your stuff. And I've just been putting it off and putting it off. Okay, so we're just going to build that. And then any floor will work right now. As I pick a specific one. Let's just go with these ones. Oops. Okay, because I need a really big area to build on, and this still probably isn't even big enough. I'm going to need to build like a really huge base plate platform to build on. Like, I guess I could kind of troubleshoot this in the actual expert world, but I feel like it'll just be quicker this way. To at least get the idea for the spacing and how much room I'll physically need for just the weapons, let alone all the decorational, like, fancy stuff I want to build. That's mostly what I'm worried about is, like, physically how much space will I need? Because I have the legendary weapons, I have my books, my maps, my fish. I'll definitely put expert trophies in this eventual museum as well, obviously. So, like... how much space do I physically need for the weapon displays alone? Not including, like, the walls and the... if I want to make anything actually, like, pretty, which I want to do at this base since it's going to be a museum. It's not like an industrial storage base like the other one is. So I want to at least get the... like, not even necessarily the spacing. It's more of just, like, what's the minimum space that I need to occupy just in physical weapon displays? Because I got all the legendaries, all the books, all that other stuff, but then I'm doing all of the other weapons as well, so I kind of want to have, like, something that flows, so I kind of need a blueprint here. I guess I'm in Sandbox, I can show this kind of stuff off super easily. You want to build upside down, so you build something like that, you build something like a roof like that, build it out, and then what you do, so that's your roof, or your ceiling, your makeshift ceiling for this example. Then you're going to go to toys, controls. You want the pressure plate. You're going to put the pressure plate up there. And now you can do this with any item. You can do this with a sink if you wanted to. But usually most people are going to want to do this like a chest, or you can do it with like a workbench. But basically what you do is you need to look at the black part of this button when you're placing it. So see how my crosshair, as soon as I go over the black part of that button, it actually flips it. Now we're going to leave our crosshair there. See, I'm not moving my crosshair. I'm using the nudge feature to nudge it over, and then I'm able to actually place it on the roof. So you need to be aiming at the black part, and then while you're aiming at the black part, you nudge it over and away into the place that you want it. Now you can do that on the wall too. How did you get the lighting in game? That's from the illuminator. So anyone can build that. You're gonna need 3 wool thread, 10 glass, 5 purple thermal fish, and 10 bright core. Purple thermal fish you can find by fishing in like a desert lake or like a desert oasis or any sort of, really any desert water, any water that's touching the desert, I believe. But I believe desert lakes are like quote unquote the best. Because, like, I also want to I'm thinking about a better way to do the legendaries, or just a different way. I'm thinking about making a wall that's, like, big enough to have all of my legendaries on one single wall. Because mine are all on, I have 2 walls, and they're 2-sided. So, really, I would just need to kind of map out how many walls do I need, or how long would the wall have to be in order to fit all of my weapon displays on one wall in like one row, essentially. I think I had those ones like, what was it, 2.5, 3.5 high? For the legendaries, it was something like that. Because it was roughly, I'm not going to make like a perfect remake of all the spacing I did in my other one, but 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it was something like, yeah, it was like pretty much like that. Boom, 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 boom. See, I can still get it pretty close if I just kind of wing it here. And if that one's off, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is more just for spacing. So I believe I did do these like 2.5. I think I did like 2.5 on these in the other base, so that's what I can match here. So I think those ones on the bottom are supposed to be a little bit higher as well. So how many? So that would be essentially, that would be half of like amber, because every gem set needed 2 sets of these. So essentially this one would start there. Yeah, I don't know. Winnie's been really bad lately. I don't know if it's because it's like colder outside, but Winnie just like peed downstairs, like by the stairs, for like the 4th time this week, where it's like, dude, you go so long without having an accident in the house, and then it's like we take you out constantly, and you still end up peeing in here. Heather just came over to me and was like pissed off. She's like, she just peed again. I'm like, oh, F. All right, so how many walls is that roughly? So that would be for just amber, essentially, right there. So this base is going to need to be like, maybe I make this base like T-shaped. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm all trying to figure out here, is like, how much space do I need? And also, what's the shape of the main build? I want to make it outside, too. So what I'm thinking is, because I'm doing castle, what I'll do is either have one big courtyard area and then kind of have it be like and that's the thing, is I can't go too hard on the castle walls and stuff. Like, I gotta really watch it on the small decorations and make just like this stuff the main tree. Like, I don't want to put a lot of like you know, clutter and all. I don't want to have like, maybe if in a few space, if I can, I'll add more decorations like that. So that's just for one, roughly. That's for one weapon type. And how many walls wide did that end up being? That was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was like 5. So I think I started that one in the wrong spot. So yeah, this is 5 walls. So you got to imagine I've got 4 gems plus Shatterhorn. So that means the middle one, this would be Shatterhorn. And then I would have 10 more walls to the left, 10 more walls to the right. And that would be enough to cover like Ruby and Sapphire on the left, and then Emerald and Amber to the right, and then Shatterhorn could be like the center. I think that's so basically the walls would go another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's, and it's going to have a little bit of extra space, so I'm going to have some wiggle room here. So that covers Shatterhorn. This space would cover like Emerald or one of them, and then we would do another 5 here, and then I'm going to go back and do 5 more on the other side, but I'm just trying to get a visual idea. So 3, 4, and I don't care which way they're facing this way. So 5. So that's 5. That covers one whole legendary weapon type. That slot covers one whole. So we have 3 covered. So then we would add 5 more walls going this way. 1, 2. Sorry, I'm not reading chat as much today. If you guys, it's been a while since I've done some intense building. Like I did a lot in the earlier days of my streams when there was a little bit less like other content to do. 2, 3, 4, 5. But now you'll kind of get to see like the inside of how I like plan stuff out. If you're watching right now, you're watching like the birth of a design of a building that will look really dope at the end. Yeah, this is a sandbox world, but I'm just doing it. I'm using, like, you can use sandbox, obviously, however you want, if you want to make that your main mode.
Inner machinations of my mind are an
as
enigma.
a sandbox. So I love, obviously, when you see me 99% of the time, I'm playing on my expert world. But sometimes when before I'm starting a really large project, or if I'm experimenting with a new vehicle, sometimes it's just easier to do it in sandbox, because you could just, like, go through trial and error faster. And then when I come to like kind of a design that I like, or right now I'm not even building a full thing, I'm really just getting spaces kind of figured out. How's it going, Reed? Oh yeah, I could kind of make it look like a sword from above. That would kind of be sick. I would love to see your world. If you want to post some pictures on my Discord, I can definitely try to get around to checking it out. But otherwise, I cannot, but I am not gonna, I don't have the time to jump around to different worlds. I've got too many of my things going on. So that's essentially how wide it would have to be. So essentially 5 walls. I know you said you would keep track for me, Charlie, but obviously I gotta have it written down somewhere. Where's my good? That's a good pen. So legendary wall, 5 walls wide per item type, 25 walls wide total. And then you got to think like, I can leave it open-ended because they could add a new gem in the next update or the next update after that. And then I would essentially need another slot of 5. So it'll be really good for this design is leave it open-ended. So as this goes out, yeah, I can make it look all nice at the end when I'm finished doing this current setup. But then if they ever come out with new stuff, I could always like break the end and then build it out and then put more stuff on the wall out there or out on the other side. Or obviously, I have the whole other side, depending on, I wouldn't be able to use these nubbed pieces. But again, this is why this is all practice, kind of figuring it out. So let's, just real quick, I don't need them here now, but just for the Just so I can get a good visual of how, like, I would want the... Because I'm going to do, like, probably some walls and stuff like that on the outside. So I kind of just want to get an idea for, like, how this would actually end up looking. Because I also got to see, like, oh, well, how much play do I have with the build complexity at the same time? Just from building the actual building itself. So wherever we have walls, we're going to need floors. I don't know why I'm worrying about flipping them. Okay, so we've got that covered. And then it comes down to how much, I can't even remember how many there were. There's going to be, I need areas for essentially, let me see. So like this would be theoretically about the middle. I'm not going to go crazy on finding the perfect spot for it now, but essentially we would probably do something like rows like this. And then again, not worried about spacing here. I'm just going to start like another row, something like there. And can you even, are these walls smooth on both sides? Okay, they are. That's good. Because like sometimes if the walls have things bumping out of them, you won't be able to put certain wall displays, or like in this case, those wall mounts. So like what I'm thinking about here is this is where the grand display of like the other weapons would be. Oh, you know what I'll do? Oh, I got an idea, chat. So you know how I was going to do the legendaries on this side? So like this would be Shatterhorn. And then this would be like Ruby, Sapphire, and then all on this face. Well, then on the other side, I can do the epic rarities, like mirroring. So on this side of the wall, it's all legendaries. And then literally on the directly other side of the wall, mirroring it would be... So, like, eventually I could just get the... Once I get the legendary Shatterhorns, then I can go through the whole list of just getting more Shatterhorns and leaving them at epic rarity to get that whole collection again. But then... So, like, back here would be all the epic rarities going all the way across. And it would take the same amount of spaces that these ones do, because they're all just, like, variants of each other in their own right. But then these rows, I don't know how many I would need. And that's kind of the other thing I'm going to need to go back and forth and kind of do some math on. But essentially, I'd have multiple rows. So that would be this would be the legendary wall. The other side would be the epic wall. Or I mirror it. And what I could do is have essentially put this wall, exactly what I have set up here in this length, put it over here. So that way you look over here, you see a legendary wall. You look at the other side, you see the epic wall. And then everything in the middle is everything in between, or everything under that. So like the epics, the blues, the greens, the grays. That's another choice, because then it could almost be like a big 8-shaped, because I can obviously trim this as much as I need to, but then we could have one wall of epics here, wall of legendaries here, and then from a top, it's kind of a big 8-shaped, because I don't necessarily need to make it, I want to make it an efficient shape. At the end of the day, the shape is going to be the byproduct of organizing this stuff efficiently. But I think having like kind of an 8 shape to it would be interesting. But again, I need to figure out kind of how many items I have to do and how I even want to organize those, because it'll be interesting. Because essentially I would probably do the uncommons by weapon type instead of like gem type, because you know how I have the legendaries organized by their base gem? They're not organized by weapon type. So like for amber, there's amber crossbows, amber, you know, everything. But I think the uncommon stuff I would store or display by weapon type and not by gem or base item usage. So that way, like, this could be like a wall of all the rare, common, epic type, or not epic, so green, blue, and whatever crossbows. Like, one wall could just be crossbows of the lower rarities, even though they're all multiple configurations, they could just be all crossbows. Because where this display, this is the mix of weapons, and what's matching is the type that I use for the head of the tool. Oh, yeah, Conquer. I think that could help with a speed run on the last phase of Storm King, because it doesn't do a ton of damage with the stink bombs, I don't think. But it's a little bit more damage you're doing to him that you could be doing while you're shooting with the arrow. It stacks, does it? Interesting. So you can just keep throwing them, and it just keeps stacking the AoE damage. It's interesting. Gladiator Coliseum would be cool, but ultimately, I don't want to put, like... I do want to make it look pretty, but I also, at the same time, have to watch build complexity, and that would be a cool idea, but that... We'll see, honestly. I'm basically building a giant courtyard at the end of the day. So I think if we wanted to do it the way I'm thinking about it right now, each wall is a weapon. It depends on what side of the wall you'd be on. And again, I'm not worried about spacing here as long as it's roughly where I need it to be. Because there's 7 different types of things that you can make. And this also doesn't include like the shovels and stuff, which I will display here as well as part of the collection. But that can be tucked into a corner pretty much anywhere. But there's swords, daggers, spears, crossbows, machetes, forest axes, and pickaxes. So that's 7 different main tool and weapon types. And that means I can probably do 7 rows in the middle of the courtyard that are like roughly spaced. This isn't going to be perfect spacing. We're just kind of speed running a stencil here. So that makes 5 rows. And then if I did 2 more, that would make 7 rows. So basically, we just put another right about there. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not really worried about it. Boom. And then this one would get another row, like right about there. Okay. So then roughly those would come back as far as they needed to. Right now, I just have them pulled back to there because, again, I really don't know how far back they'd need to be pulled. I guess I could do a quick little mock-up with 1 whole weapon type because I am in sandbox. I can build these things without having to worry about anything. I could do like a quick little mock-up. What's in my bag? We don't need any of that. Okay, so like with swords, I can make up all the, like a quick mock of all the swords. So let's do this. So basically I have all the legendary stuff, so we're basically more worried about these. Like physically, how much space do I need for just 1 whole weapon set? Which is, this will take me a minute, but this will be good for the whole thing. Like I said, doing all this testing ahead of time before I try to, like, pulling materials out, and I can't fly an expert. So, like, kind of just figuring out all these little hitches that I'm going to run into are kind of good early on. I know I've done this a little bit in my world already. However, this, like I said, I'm only going to be doing this with 1 weapon type, and then I'll be able to copy and paste that to all the other ones, because all the other ones should have the same combos available to it. So this shouldn't take incredibly long. Did I cover all of them? Yeah, it should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So that's that one. And yes, this is in sandbox, so I'm not actually worried about what I have here. I got to get all this spaced out. So there's a lot of different weapon types, but if I can get, again, if I can get one of them figured out, then the spacing is figured out for the rest of them. So I only need to do a mock-up of this just once. So iron that one. No, you can't. No, you can't change any of the expert settings. That's why it's expert, is because they don't let you do any cheesiness. Stormcore, you get it from Storm Wild enemies. So if you're in a cozy or a regular survival world, you'll actually have to go to your world options and turn it on. Don't worry, you can turn them on after you've already created the world. You just have to go to the world options and turn on Storm Wild enemies. Alright, so... So that's every rare sword. There was sneezing and scared the crap out of me. Poncho, let's go with the skin redeem. So that should be every rare sword combo. So it covers copper, gold, iron, greater storm core. So then I just need to do the uncommon ones and the common ones, and then, like I said, we'll be rocking and rolling. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it in order. Alright, let's go get that skin redeem. Yeah, one single setting you can change in expert is PvP. You can only fly in sandbox, survival, and cozy. What'll it be, Poncho? Do you want me to scroll through for you? You can pick one out. I'll start from the bottom here, unless you have one in mind, but otherwise, I've got Raider, Tomato Head, the Reaper, Sub Commander, Rust Lord, Rogue Agent. I've got a lot of the older skins. Otherwise, we'll kind of do a little scroll through here. Oh, you got to add Rip. Oh, wait. That actually gives me a chance. There's 30 seconds in the end. Let me go ask dinner. Ask dinner what she wants to have for Heather. No, ask Heather what she wants to have for dinner. We're back. Okay. Poncho, what'll it be? Sorry, I saw you wearing an ad, so I took a quick second to run since it's like I gotta wait for Poncho to get through the stinking ad. Okay, so what I was saying is I have a lot of older skins. If you want to look through everything, I'm going to start at the bottom. I have everything organized by season, so this is the earliest stuff I have, like the oldest, most OG stuff. And as I scroll up, it'll get newer and newer. But I figured you might not have had a chance to see my whole locker yet. So I've got a lot of the old skins like Reaper, Sub Commander, Rust Lord, Rogue Agent, Wingman, or excuse me, Rogue Agent and Elite Agent and stuff like that from the earlier battle passes. But otherwise, I'll do kind of a slow scroll through here. Next to Moonwalker, not Raven. Oh, the original mission specialist from season 3. Let's go. That's actually, dude, that was one of my favorite when like I was playing in season 3. Like, here, let's just click on. Like, this is one of my favorite outfits. I wore this one a lot, and Rust Lord. Like, you don't understand. Like, playing back then and watching, like, you know, there was still a lot of defaults back then, but like, these were some of the only skins available. There wasn't that many skins even in season 3. So it was just like fun back then getting to see like a lot more people run around with those skins. I wish there was a visor down option for this. For the Lego mode. Yeah, very awesome choice. You picked one that nobody's ever picked before. We gotta do like some sort of special sub badge or like a special badge or special emote or something somehow, like some sort of special reward for people who pick out an outfit out of my thing, like that nobody's ever picked. And I can start writing down a list to make sure like that it's never been picked before. Because I have a huge locker. It would be fun to kind of like almost incentivize different picks than someone might normally go with. I think that'd be a fun idea. Also, what I'm holding in my hand, I'm going to do some giveaways this month. I meant to do these last month. I got extremely distracted by going to Denmark and all the other stuff around that. But this month, not today, and I'm going to give it away on Twitch. And I'll do 2 on Twitch and 1 on YouTube. How about that? I think I can do that, where I can do 2 on Twitch and 1 on YouTube. And then maybe I could even find a way to just do it 1 on TikTok. So I have 1 on TikTok, 1 on Twitch, 1 on YouTube. So that way it kind of, I guess, sort of incentivizes everybody, plus gives everybody a chance no matter what platform you're on. But I would like to give away not 1, not 2, but 3 Lego Brickheads Bright Bomber sets. I think I'll do them all. I think I'll probably.
How can I make an airplane?
Day, but I'm also thinking about doing them weekly, like once a week. And then, oh, I also forgot. I have more stuff to give away than that. So I was able to snag an extra one of these while I was in Denmark. I got one for myself, but then I got an extra official LEGO Fortnite hat, and it fits an adult, so... Then the other thing I got an extra one. I actually got like 2 extras because I got one for Heather, one for me, and then one for you guys. It's got the tag on it still. It's a size medium, I think, that I was able to grab. So it is a medium, so it'll be a little bit smaller for most adults, unless you're like skinny like me. Even then, for me, I'm tall, so even though it's thin, it's a thin enough shirt. It's not a long enough shirt, really, but it is a medium. So I'll give away the t-shirt and the hat as well at some point. Now, I don't know what platforms I'll do those for, but I'll try to spread the love on the brickheads. Okay, so we got the green ones, and we're just doing the swords right now real quick as some placeholders. So I don't need to worry about epics. We already got that spacing figured out. So we did the blue ones, so now we just need to do the green-based ones. So let's knock those out real quick. And this is, I need to do a few more of these combos in my actual expert world. Just because I didn't have enough blast core nor cursed bones to do all those, because blast core to do all those combos. Actually, you know what's funny is the grind for all the green weapons is like slightly tough because of the bones and the blast core. It's like the 2 bottlenecks for making the green weapons is the blast core. Because if you want to, you just saw it, it's 5 each for every sword. And then it's 5 times 8 for the swords. But it's also for the spears, then it's 3 times 8. Then for the daggers, 2 times 8. For the crossbows, 4 times 8. So you need a lot of blast core to make all these combos overall. What did I just make? Okay, we just made the blast core handles. So now we move to... See, I have plenty of bright core to do all these. And the blast core and the bright core actually look really similar. But I think they technically look different. We'll have to see, like, side by side. But it is technically a different variant completely, even though they might end up looking the same. Yeah, I want that hat. Yeah, that hat's pretty sick, huh? Like anything like a fit, I am like, you don't even know, guys. I feel like the luckiest grown-up kid alive, because like all of the, like, dude, what I'm wearing right now, you realize this is the LEGO Fortnite branded shirt that they gave me while I was there. I love this kind of stuff. Oh wait, I thought this one said smile, you're on camera on the back too, like some of the other stuff they gave me did. It doesn't have anything on the back, but like even this is one of the things they gave me. I feel so blessed to have like some of the coolest, most like unique stuff like that. See, like blast core and bright core. Look at the different, like one's like a little darker orangish kind of yellow, and one's like a brighter, like your standard yellow. Look at the...
Victory!
There's
screech!
barely a difference, but there's a difference. Yeah, I need the unlimited blast core room for sure. I was thinking about that last night while I was like kind of doing some of this and going through like the fact that I'll have to grind all those. But I was like, damn, I wish I had the cave still. When does Raven spawn? 24 hours, real life hours, after you defeat him. So if you defeat him at 5 p.m. today, he won't respawn until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So again, I only need to do this with a sword, so this shouldn't take too much longer. But it's kind of, again, some if you wonder why some of my stuff looks so cool or how I got so good, a lot of people ask in the chat, and there's a process. I don't just like log on and thinking of Talladega Nights. Yeah, wake up and piss excellence. Like, I don't just wake up and just make really cool stuff right off. You know, a lot of it obviously comes from the inside of my head, but a lot of it has a lot of planning, a lot of forethought, a lot of stuff like that, where I'm not just some phenom that can log on and make incredible things from scratch in like boom, 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 boom. Like, there is a process. There is like a lot of planning, a lot of like failures, a lot of like, realizing that, this isn't going to work. This will probably work better. And you guys who have been here for the last year plus, watching me build my 14 or whatever villages that I've built, 20 to 40 hours plus spent on each, just in building time, not even in resource gathering time. And you guys have seen some of you have probably absolutely, especially like Zeppelin and some of the other people, absolutely have been able to watch me go, okay, we're breaking ground today for this new village. And then you watch me for like 2 weeks straight on stream, and you watch that village go from literally being an open grass area and watching me place the first block to, oh my god, this village is finished and this thing looks insane. There is a process to it. Like, it does take time, it does take effort, it does take planning, all that kind of stuff. When does Raven spawn? When you upgrade the Storm Chaser village enough. You're going to need to make sure you're upgrading the Storm Chaser village, because if you don't do that, you won't even get Raven to spawn. This one's even closer. Can you guys see the difference? Look at the sword. When I go back, I'm going back and forth from Cursed Bones to Granite Slabs. It's like the same color, but one has like a different sheen to it, like a different shine. But they're different. You guys see the difference, right? I'm not just crazy. They're definitely different, but they're like 98% similar. I'm sorry. My rhetorical redundancies don't need to be entertained. It's okay. You don't have to humor me. Thank you though, Jen. I'm just being a goofball. No, I want them to be in order just for easier sake later. I just did the granite ones, right? I guess I could have just done the math on this, but I feel like I don't even care for doing math right now. I'm in a mode where I just want to see stuff. That was such a cool looking combo. Honestly, all these ones probably will. Like, it's not the best looking weapon model, but as far as like color combos, look at that one. That one's really cool. Frostpine and Malachite. This one's really cool looking. The contrast. I just like to organize them. And you'd think you could spawn all these in expert mode, but you still, like, if you spawn a sword in expert mode, like, you'll just get one type of sword every single time. You won't get any sort of variety. So if you're wondering, like, why not just spawn it? You're in expert mode anyway. That would be the reason. I wouldn't get any of these, like, many variations. Did I make one of them twice? No, well, like I said, the granite and the wolf claws look incredibly close, so it could have been those two. But I could have absolutely made it twice on accident without realizing. Let's see. Because those are cursed ones. And then I think goes over to the next. Wait, did I do? Oh yeah, I did do 2 sets of granite. Look, you're right. So that means these ones I don't need. So those are, yeah, that's granite. That's granite. You're totally right. You're totally right. I mean, luckily we're in sandbox, so more just a waste of time than a waste of materials. Good call. Good call. Good call. I mean, it really wouldn't. I mean, probably would have caught it at some point, but I'm glad we caught it now. So thank you. Thank you. All right, so that means I did that. That means I did that twice. I went to that. Now we did that. So we should be, because those are the cursed. Those are the granite. Those are the malachite. And then these ones were the marble. So now we're on. What did I do without you guys? Now we're on the. This is how you make the wish.com Shatterhorn items. If you want to impress your friends, but you don't got the money. No, you don't got the Shatterhorns. You don't got those Shatterhorn fragments on hand. You just pull out one of these babies, and you don't let them get too close of a look at it. You got your wish.com Shatterhorns. You're like, I got all the Shatterhorns. Your buddy's like, let me see. You're like, no. You saw. And then just put it back in your inventory. Just let him get a glimpse. I swear it's Shatterhorn.
The sapphire with the mahogany rod combo looks like Superman's suit.
Yeah. Did I hit the right one there? Yeah. Red on red. Gotta like that. The ice cream man. I swear the ice cream man comes by my house like every stream, does it not? To be a kid in my neighborhood. How do you get better runes on weapons? You need to complete the storm dungeons. And at every layer of the Storm Dungeon, you'll actually earn a gold chest that, not every time, but most of the time, will give you one of the purple books, and then you read the purple books, and it teaches you better runes. So that should have been the final one for Sandstone, or for all of those. I don't remember the order now. That's not a big deal. I know green, and white, then tan, then red. There we go. Okay, so now we just have to do the common ones, which is really easy because for the common ones, there's a handful of different ones you can make. There's a lot of different combos you can make. However, on these ones, the hilts might change the stats a little bit, but it will not, since it's a one-piece build for these ones. Literally, the only thing that affects the color of it is what you use for the blade. So for this, I'm not going to make all 8 of these hilt combos because ultimately, they don't make it look any different. And unless you picked it up, looked at the stats, one, it still calls it a claw sword. No matter what one you pick, it's going to be called a claw sword. And it's going to be blue because you're using the Arctic Claw version. The only thing it's going to change up is the stats a little bit. So for these ones, it literally doesn't matter what I make the hilt out of. So I only actually need to make one variant of each. So we'll start with this one and then just do that. Boom, that one, bone, that one. Then we move to the mahogany, make the green one, make the white one. Glass, not root, mahogany, and that would take a long time if they actually did make some sort of visual difference with these because there would be a lot of combos. Storm core, that one's always cool looking to make it pink. Here's your superwish.com Shatterhorn. Just like this straight up. Yeah, it's Shatterhorn. You sure it's not Wolf Claws? No, it's totally Shatterhorns. So for these ones, that would be the complete common collection for the swords. Even though, again, Bone and Frostpine. Oh man, that's got to be the closest one yet. It does technically. I don't know if you guys can see the color change on the because like it might be a little lower quality, but I see like the most faint change in color because it like flickers. I mean, it could just be flickering, but one does look like it's a little bit different. So those are the two, got to be the two closest combinations: is Frostpine sword and a bone sword. The Temu Shatter. The Wish.com's the uncommon one. Temo's the uncommon. It's even worse. That's actually funny. Let's just do that one for these ones. Okay, so we have every common, uncommon, and rare sword combo. I don't need to do this for everyone. I'm just trying to get a tester for the wall here. Because each one of these has, I think it was 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and then it resets. So each of these variants is going to have probably a row of 8. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the blue ones. So the blue ones would need, I could accomplish with 4 rows of 8. So essentially, let's do this. Again, the spacing shouldn't matter too much right now. I'm just doing a rough one. I'll make the spacing better for the real ones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And because these aren't legendary also, you got to think, and since they're the same weapon type in this display, they're not going to bump into each other, so doing this spacing should be a lot tighter and easier to do. I might not even have, because these are going to go, if I need them to go 8. See, that's the other thing, is I can make these go a lot lower.
Tell me how to cook the sauce, all right?
And then we would essentially go, we could probably even overlap a little bit for the next row, like this, because you can see this sword only comes down to about here. So we have some wiggle room going to the next row. Because this will tell me how high I need the walls, how long I need them for every single wall. If I figure out just one of these weapon combos, or one of these like weapon types rather. So I think that's a cool way to display. I might change up the order, like, you know, make it go in like original rarity order or something like that. So it's enough. So I would need 8. Wait, how many rows do I need for this? I think I only need 4. Yeah, I only need 4 rows, so we'll see how high we need it here. Why doesn't it let me place it on the halves? You see, like, it does that so many times. And so many, see, like, it's, you can move it half spaces, and then all of a sudden here it wants to do like a full space. And I don't get why. Oh, I think that's right. No, that's, I should be a half a space lower, but it's not letting me place it on that space for some reason. It wants to go like down even further. See how, like, with that one it's like actually too low, whereas that one's like right in the middle. It won't let me place it on that half space for some reason. But I guess being off by just half a space on this row is not gonna totally kill my need to have everything perfect, but I already got that row. So I gotta do the other rarities too. But I'm also thinking, because there is 7 weapon types, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 walls make 6 sides that I can put stuff on. So that means the 7th one I can maybe put at a different angle. Or they might add more tools and weapons, so I guess that gives me room to expand to each side as well, even though it won't be perfect. Because one wall, I want to be one weapon. You know what I mean? See, that one I was able to place at the right height. I guess I'll just have to alternate them. There's, yeah, it's probably a seam where the builds are connecting. I was actually kind of thinking the exact same thing in the back of my mind. Is it's probably like, it's probably happening about the area where these ones are, yeah, it's kind of jumping. Even though I'm aiming at the wall below, it's jumping to that wall higher. So I wonder, even here, it's doing it without the other wall. Because I can go here, which lines it up there, and then watch here. It's like, it doesn't want to go into that half space. Like, that's half of a space right there, there and there. But then between, like, here and here, it's like skipping a spot for sure. So it has something to do with the seam, like between the 2 builds. You're 100% right. You are 100% correct. Okay, so we got those covered. Because over here I can do daggers, and then that can be spears, crossbows, machetes, and then this one can be pickaxes and axes. This one will be double-sided. And then if they add, so like machetes would end up going here, and then if they added a new item, I could just build it on this wall, like just expand it that way and add a new wall going outwards. That'll be pretty much the play. Okay, so now we got the rare. Now we got to do the same thing. All these should have the same ones, but there's going to be more of them. How many combos do we have for this? So each one of them should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then reset. So yeah, each one of those rarities has 8 sets. This is why I said I could have done it with math pretty easily, but I kind of just wanted to do it visually in my head today. It was just kind of the more natural way, like my brain likes to think about things. So for green, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 different. So here there's 4 different base types. For the uncommons, there's 9 different base types. So we'll need to do basically 4, 4, and then an offset one, because there's no real even way to split 9 types. Unless, of course, in the future they add more types that it can be built out of, if they add new materials. But for now, how would I do 9? Why are you in sandbox? I'm doing a practice build, essentially, for my expert world. Just because it's easier to kind of like this isn't even like the real build. This is kind of me just getting the spacing right. So when I go into my expert world and I actually have to like move stuff around and go move stuff from base to base to get it built, I kind of know what I'm doing already, so I don't have to waste any time like being like, oh, I need this now, oh, I need this now, oh. And it's just also a little bit easier to, in sandbox, to kind of just like do a little blueprint, because I'm not going to do this for all the weapons. I'm basically getting the spacing done for like one of the weapon types, some of the spacing that I already know just extended. So there's a lot going on here that where like this looks like a big mess. But for me, this is actually like this one picture right now is essentially telling me everything I need to know for the build that I'm trying to do. So that way it's just a lot easier, for at least in my head, that way, the way it'll end up working. So for these ones, again, we want 9. This is what a row of 4 looks like. But how could I stagger rows of 9? I could do 3 rows of 3, but space them out more. Yeah, I got it. Watch. So for this row, we'll start it like here, or whatever the spacing is, right? We'll start it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this will allow, if I stagger it here, there's 3 perfect spaces right here to essentially do 3 rows of 3, or 3 sets of 3 rows to make 9 total. So this one will end up making it a little bit, so I like to fly, just because, again, just for this practice build. Oh, that's not what I want. I mean, that's about the spacing I want for that, but not exactly. So for this row, we'd want it like right about there. Because again, once I get this kind of figured out for just this one weapon type, it'll be the same for all the other weapon types. Can I play Brick Life? I could, but I'm not going to. I am on the Odyssey. Like, that's my favorite game mode, is the LEGO Odyssey. So it's not that I don't like Brick Life, but I like to spend my time more on the stuff that I essentially care about more. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that it's a bad game mode, but it's just not for me compared to Odyssey. So that's 3, and then we would go back, so we would do 3, 3, and I could even stagger these ones a little bit. Because I'm going to have to make this wall go quite a bit back. Again, that's why it's a huge storage. But it also makes things a little more spread out. So that's 3. And then
I
we
will
would basically...
dismantle this oppressive establishment board by board.
Okay, so I need to do basically this times 2 going that way. The question is, I'm staggering. I guess it would make it more consistent where when you see the stagger, that's how you know that's a break in rarity. Because this one, I could just space it out like a little bit to start the next rows. You know what I mean? So like this one there. That one looks like it's right. So that one there. So this would start my next row, my triple row of 8. Or I could stagger these ones and make 3 of them a little bit higher and then make the end one a little bit lower. But I think this would keep the consistency better with, like, visualizing the rarities. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then there would be a third one of these. And then, again, I don't care if the spacing is consistent with that other one. I just need it, like, roughly in the size of how many spaces I'll have to go back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's enough to cover all of the uncommon ones. So let's run through that real quick. And I know I don't know what order it actually takes everything if I press the collect all button, so I'm trying to keep everything in order so it's easier to place on the wall. So that... And what I think I'll do is I should separate these yellow ones since they look... Here, actually, I kind of want to see what the actual difference is. I don't know. Those look different enough. I kind of like the way they look kind of right next to each other on the wall. Oh, I'm doing those the opposite direction that I need to put them up on the wall. Start from this side. Do that. But yeah, actually, kind of like they look different enough on the actual wall. They look way closer when they're in, like, the little menu. You can actually tell the difference when they're on the wall. So I have to do all this over again in Expert, but I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of glad that I'm getting the spacing. I don't even technically need the weapons on the wall, but again, I like to visualize things a little bit more. And it's satisfying to do more than once sometimes. I like putting things on walls and organizing them. And again, I can always change up, like at the end, if I just like kind of want to scatter the colors a little bit differently between the what the blades are. I can always like kind of customize the placement a little bit more. This is why I was trying to keep everything in order when I made it, just because it makes it throwing it on the wall kind of like dummy proof for me, so I don't have to mess it up or have to think about where everything needs to go for now. All right, so that is all the uncommon ones. I like the look of that too. I like the spacing. I like, even though there's a little bit more space, but if I have the build complexity, that gives me room to like maybe put some more trim up there, or some more lighting or something like that. Something that actually adds to the overall aesthetic of it. I kind of need to redo epics because all my epics are now legendaries. So these ones should be pretty easy because there's only a handful of them. So with these ones, let's also... And like once I get this figured out, the rest of it is just kind of like creative differences. After I figure out the general shape, size, how big I need to make everything. Because this is all just kind of like a skeleton of the build. So let's just go there for now. And then there's what? 8, 9, yeah. This should be 8, yeah, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 different common ones. How would we space out those to look nice is the question. So 11.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
We could do... kind of going from up to down, we could do 2 kind of, again, the spacing. So like 4. Like 4. Right? 4, 4 is 8. And I need what? How many did I have again? 8, 9, 10, 11. So 4, 4 is 8. And we can have 3. And then 4, right? Again, the spacing is not going to be perfect here. Again, no, the spacing's not perfect, but you see 4. I did my math right. 8 plus 3 is 11. This should be the right distribution. And I can put the... How close do these look on the wall, actually? Okay, you can actually see the difference a little bit more on the wall than when it's actually in your inventory. But I still would kind of want to, like... space them out, or because yeah, I don't know, maybe next to each other is better because then you can tell they're actually different. If they're too far away, you kind of, your eyes don't see them next to each other as much, so maybe that. And right now it doesn't really matter, they could really be in any order. And I kind of want them to be contrasted and spread out anyway, because even these two, again, these two look pretty close, but they're definitely different. And then these two, again, these are really close. But one's dark tan, one's light tan. So again, doesn't matter what order right now. I'll figure all that out later. But I think that's the right... Because every weapon is going to have the commons with this much. Do we like this? I mean, again, other than the imperfections of the spacing, what do we think about this setup for the final one? I think this is pretty good. Yeah, what's going on, T-Block? Okay. So, T-Block, we are doing a... little blueprint of what I'm going to do in my expert world. So then, like I said, I think I'll do another wall like on the opposite side. So essentially, roughly, and again, I don't need to even do this right now. This is all like kind of stuff I would figure out naturally or be able to remember to do in the other build. But I kind of want to just get a visual for what it's kind of going to, the spacing on this is going to be. Getting the stencil so I can go into the expert world fully knowing what I'm doing.
Hey, Epic!
So roughly the storage base, that'll be like this is like the main business end. Called the bright core weapons, just lighting it up over there. Hey, how's it going, Pringle? What is the difference between survival and expert? insert in expert, you cannot change any of the settings, whether it's before the world's created or after the world's created. Expert mode, you're locked into all the most difficult settings, like hunger on. You can't turn fly mode on in expert mode, and expert mode is where you earn your like the special trophies. So like if you want like these trophies in your regular worlds that aren't sandbox, you have to earn these in expert. So that's the other thing. But overall, it's just a more difficult experience. Because these rows, I'm not even going to build them, but those rows have to run all the way back as well. So just imagine all, so this will be, so swords, maybe swords there, daggers there, because how many do I have built here? I didn't even build that in the middle necessarily, that's fine. It doesn't even matter where they are. So like I could have the middle row, I could have one side swords, one side daggers, but either way, let's just get a full count because we'll start from the middle. Let's just imagine that the swords are here. So swords, daggers, that's 2 of them. Then I would probably do, actually, you know what? Let's do like swords here, daggers there. So they're the 2 similar type of weapons all in one row. And then in this row over here, we'll go to tools. So this will end up being like pickaxes and forest axes. And then we also, on the opposite side here, where these are, that would end up being machetes. And then, or crossbow and spear. Or machete and spear here, and then end up having crossbow like on the opposite side here. Because it's going to be a little bit uneven, but eventually they're probably going to add new weapons, so this will allow for expansion in the base. But overall, this is roughly the size of our courtyard now. This is why I wanted to do this. So at least in my head, I have an idea. Because, again, you see those shelves, those shelvings, they're not perfectly spaced out, and some of them start a little bit higher up. But this is kind of what I wanted to get a visual of, is how much space I kind of need to occupy, and what the shape of everything is, and how far I'll actually need to go back. And I wanted to get a wall up, because I don't think I have all of everything built yet for these ones. So this is all just kind of like a visualization. Yeah, it's really big. And then I'm going to try to go as light as possible on the other decorations in the middle. So that way on the outside, I can kind of make the walls look pretty. Because obviously I'm not going to build any walls. That's all creative part right now. But like I'll get into that where like eventually I'm going through and building custom walls or gates or little like even like half walls so you can kind of see up and into it. I'm kind of still deciding on the overall vibe of the it's not literally going to be a museum, but it's going to be a castle that kind of holds everything display-wise. But otherwise, this is the mock-up of... So the legendaries are going to go on this wall. You know, I have the legendaries set up in this pattern. You've seen it in my my expert world where I actually have the legendaries. So this will be Shatterhorn. And then I left enough space on the side so then it'll be like Amber, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire. And then right in the middle will be Shatterhorn. And then all of those will be, that'll be the legendary wall. And then what I'll probably do, since we've figured out the kind of the overall length for this, and I don't really have to build it because it's just replicating that side, but essentially I would mirror this, and then I would end up building another one of these walls here that you see over there, because this one's going to hold the legendaries, and then I'm going to mirror it, make another wall just like this one, but over here, and this wall will have all the epics. So that'll be epic wall, legendary wall, and then everything in the middle will be your uncommon, common, and oh god, the game just crashed. Uncommon, common, and blue, the rare. So we got our daily game crash. Being in creative is crazy. Why is it crazy? One, not that it matters, but I play in expert mode 99% of the time. I am in sandbox right now doing a blueprint for what I'm going to build in my expert world. I have all the materials for it and stuff like that, but like, as I've explained earlier in the stream, if you weren't here, I like to kind of visualize things and plan things out, and sometimes just doing the planning part of the build in sandbox, because I'm not going to flesh this all out. Like, this is the extent of what the build is going to be. But then I'm going to take, because like I'm a visual person too, so sometimes I just like to build up an idea, like size up how big I need everything. And then I take that idea back into my expert world, because in expert, you can't fly. So when I'm in my expert world, it's going to be more difficult to begin with. I'm going to have to move all the materials over. So I don't, it's taking me time going over to creative, but at the same time, it's saving me mental hassle of like how I'm going to set everything up when I actually get to expert. But try not to come down on people who do play on creative. There's nothing wrong with playing on creative. I love playing on expert. It feels better for me and probably for you, and you playing on like the regular modes. However, try to not have the mentality of like looking down on people who play on creative, because you got to realize not everybody has the same amount of time to play this game. And if you're a creative person and you want to build stuff, there's no reason that, like, let's say you're older or even you're younger and you're in school and you barely have any time to play video games every day. Like, let's say you have like half an hour to an hour to play video games every day, but you want to play LEGO Fortnite and you want to build cool stuff, but you only have an hour to play. Do you want to spend 45 minutes of your time playing, like collecting resources, and then 15 minutes building maybe, and that's all you got to play for the day? Or would you rather log in, hop into sandbox, and just get to build whatever you want for that full hour without having, I like to farm stuff. You probably like to farm stuff. It's a farming game, but at the end of the day, like I said, some people might benefit from the time saving factor because that's all they have. And they want to enjoy the game in its full, but they might not have as much time as all of us do. You gotta remember, everybody's schedules are different. Everybody's everything is different. So I think I'm ready to take, I need to hop in here real quick and just write down some more numbers, because I have the wall length for the legendary wall written down. I should get the
Do you know why you are going to build it?
Where? Yeah, I got a spot picked out. I found a, so if you want to find, you can't find like an unlimited flat spot on the map, but you know how there's broken down POIs? Like the little broken down houses, little broken down castles and stuff like that. Wherever you find one of those, there's actually a perfectly flat circle around them. Because this is a sandbox world, but I can kind of show you, for example, this one's not a very big flat spot. Some of them are a little bit bigger than others. But you see how there's this POI right here? Well, it's hard to tell. Actually, I can make it a little easier. Let's just turn down, I think it's the view distance setting. Should get rid of all the grass. There we go. Now you can see like this part that's so there's like a circle going around this POI that's like perfectly flat. And it'll eventually get, a little bit lumpy. But like I said, some POIs are different. Some of them will have a little bit bigger of a flat circle. So I just found an area that has a POI and that's already pretty flat, and then I'll be able to make it work. So I'm going to build on kind of like a big flat-ish area. So like, again, this is all held up by that right now. That's, like I said, this is just a big practice. But this is what it will, so I'm not going to do all of them here since I would be wasteful of time in Sandbox to do it. But essentially, this is how I needed to figure out how I'm going to display the weapons in my expert world when I get them up on the wall. And so I needed to figure out how many walls long that was going to be. So real quick, and I kind of need to write it down because this is something I won't be able to do right off the bat because I don't have all the weapons ready in the expert world actually. So I guess I don't even need to use the same wall technically. I could just use any wall. I just need a quick measurement. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 by 16. Walls. 4 rows. Because I can remember how many rows I do and all that stuff, but just kind of getting an idea for how long I need to make this base overall in the other one and then replicate it. So I can make the mirrored wall, because I don't want to put any more work into this build than I need to. I just need this absolute basics. The only other, and I guess that could be a creative decision later, because what I also have, I already have them ready to go in the expert world and built up. There is obviously also because this is going to be a museum for everything. So I already have all the shovels and stuff, but like the shovels, there's 4 of those. There's 4 fishing rods. There's the wrench. There's also the different shields, like 5 or 6 different shields or whatever it is. All the different types of pistols. I already have them built up. Those should be easier to space out. I don't think I need to pre-plan those, because these rows will be reserved for main type weapons because they have so many variants. And then probably what I'll do is just find a side area after I get this set up, because it almost, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but having a display for these type of items is going to be very small, because there's only 4 different types of muskets, because there's 4 rarities, 4 different flint knocks. It's not like these ones where they're like, gosh, I don't even want to do the math on that right now. There's a lot for each of these weapon variants, but for like the shovels, these like all the other stuff that you would end up displaying as a unique item, they're very mild as far as how many I'm going to actually have to make, because I'll also have an area where it's like, you know, I can throw the stink, everything, well, like anything that, basically this museum is a dedication to literally anything that can be put on the wall mount in every facet of the word. And I mean everything. So if it can go on the wall mount, I want it here. And then obviously I also forgot to think, I want to put my fish here too. I want to put my fishies here. So like I would have to, and again, as long as I think I have the main shape of where the weapons go, I could make like because this is going to be outside courtyard area, this whole H shape. So this will be exposed outside. But I'm thinking what's going to go around it for walls and stuff. Maybe I put like an actual building right here, because that H, so this is also going to extend. So from the top, imagine this mirrored over on this right side. So imagine if the left side over here looked like, looked like the right. So then so all of this would be outdoors, this whole H shape. And then right here, I can do a building like that's modest. And then like right here, a modest building. And then maybe that's where like I have inside storage, where maybe the building over here is for the fishing and the fishing stuff and the legendary fish. And then over here, it can be like maybe another modest building that has like the muskets, the shields, kind of all the other miscellaneous stuff that doesn't have any more variants. What do you guys think about that? These things light up like crazy. They actually light up on the wall, the ones that are made out of bright core. Like, they're actually, like, really bright. You could use them as actual lanterns if you wanted to. And that's why it's cool. Like, honestly, you wouldn't think about this until just now. But what's the point of having different variants of weapons I'm never going to use? Well, right here, for example, these ones are made out of bright core. So they actually glow in the dark even when they're on the wall. So imagine now, not only do you get to use this as a decoration in your base, but you have 8 different options if you want to use this light effect in your build. So if your build, if the iron matches better, use that one. If in your build the glowy effect in gold is a better match, use that one. Maybe if you're building a tomato temple build and you want to use this as like a lantern effect in your tomato temple, use the mahogany one. It'll match pretty well. So like, it may not be the first thing you would think to use it for, but like, that's what I love about this system. It's not always about building the meta weapon to use it. It's sometimes it's, dude, it's a really cool just to like, you know, what if I wanted to match with this one? I could do something like, what would match well? This one kind of matches a little bit. So, like, if I just want to match a weapon to my character momentarily to take a cool screenshot, there's so many different combos that can come in handy for so many different skins. Where would be another good combo if I did, like, because, like, one of these orange ones would match, too. I could do, like, orange and white. That would be a cool one. That would probably match. So, like, boom. Like, it's just sometimes it's not about meta effectiveness and stats. Sometimes it's about having fun and having options to have fun. I wish I could be that creative. You can. Especially if you watch me and subscribe and use code. If you use Epic Bricks, studies have said your creativity level doubles overnight. No, I'm kidding. But if you watch Epic Bricks streams for at least a week, I bet through the inspiration alone, your creativity will absolutely increase. Bright core swords look like Temu lightsabers. Hey. So is this one? Same with this one? Here. What are you talking about? This is Luke's lightsaber. This is Luke Skywalker's saber. From the movie? Star Trek? See, you can even tell it's a lightsaber because the sound it's making. You can tell it's a lightsaber because the way that it is. How do you get rift shards? So, space plus. I always think of the Family Guy reference when I think it's Peter. He's just like doing something. He's like, "Hey, Lewis, I'm Han Solo from." Or no, it's American Dad. It's American Dad. It's Stan. He goes, "Look, I'm Han Solo from Star Trek," and he's like pretending he's frozen in carbonite. I always think of that. What's going on, McChillin? So rift shards. Sorry, I'm not getting into as many questions as I can today. I got a build project going on, so I'm definitely distracted. But rift shards you can get from golems on the Lost Isle, breaking bus stations around your regular world. Defeating storm dungeons will also get you one at the end of them, and then feeding Mama Klombo will get you some sometimes. Is it possible for you to get gems on legendary weapons? Yeah. So here, we're pretty much done. I think I got all the spacing I needed out of this. The rest of it's just going to be creative, executive decisions that I have to make after I actually get it built. I can only do so much pre-planning. Like, I just wanted to get mostly spacing, but I'll show you. I actually have every single gem legendary, Alejandro. Get ready for this. We're going to load in the expert world here. The actual expert world. And then, oh, I need to get a bus station down at this new spot, too. I forgot to bring bus station materials myself. Yeah, I've got lightsabers. It keeps giving me weapons with different gens on them. Yeah, there's a few different... I don't know what the codex looks like for the weapons, but there's I think you only have to make one. Bricks, thank you. Yeah, that was just the sandbox test run, so I can get the not necessarily the full spacing, but the generalized how big I need or how long I need to build each wall for the displays. And I guess I could have done that in this world, but I needed to do a lot of transferring for some of the weapons. So I got the spacing figured out for all the common, uncommon, and rare ones that I'm going to be doing. You only play LEGO Fortnite? 95% of the time on stream, yeah. Sometimes I play some VR. What should I do if Raven isn't spawning for me? Has he ever spawned for you? Fire music. Oh, he's got the fire lobby music. Oh, I forgot to turn the view distance back up too, I think. There, we want our grass. Because I'm going to build the, see, now I can't fly. So this is where I'm going to build a storage base. It's a flat area around a POI, but what's great about it is it's actually kind of on top of a hill. So even though right here it stops being flat from the POI, it goes downhill from there instead of uphill, which is great because that means if I start the build here, I only have to like ascend it a little bit. And then even if I go over the flat area, then I'm just going over void space instead of into an incline, which would kind of just like force me to build higher. But since like all of this is like pretty, and over here, it looks like there's a little lump right here where it goes up a little bit. But that's why I say is, so what you do is you want to make sure when you start, if I don't have any pieces right now, but if I wanted to start this build, I know that I have a hill over here that I might run into. So when I start this build, I want to make sure like the bottom floor is like right here. Like, so that way when I build over with that floor and I get over there, I should still be above that little lump when if I do end up building it over there. I made the mistake of breaking down Raven's house completely, thinking it would respawn the next day. It does not. Yeah, Raven's house doesn't. But has the portal ever spawned for you? Because the portal will only spawn there, and it doesn't matter if the house is there or not. As long as you've done the Storm Chasers thing to get the portal to spawn, it will. So the portal has never showed up for you ever? Okay, so if you have the portal there, that means you just have to wait 24 hours. Real hours. If you have the portal and he's not in there, that just means you've probably already defeated him, and you just need to wait a full 24 hours after that. If the portal's not there for you, then your solution is you need to upgrade the Storm Chaser village more, so that way you can actually get the portal to spawn. The house being there on top actually makes no difference. So did you already get the bonus shards out of the house though? You already got them once, correct? Or the bonus crystals rather. Yeah, so it's just a one-time thing. Otherwise, honestly, that would be kind of cheesy if you could get 25 crystals a day for free from a respawning decoration. Don't worry. The outside house is a one-time thing, but it doesn't matter if it's broken or not. So it is a one-time thing for everybody. It's a cool starter kit. That's what I like about it, is it gives every player like a free 25, like gives you a little taste. You can rift up a handful of items scot-free, but then the rest you kind of got to grab yourself through like grinding the rift dungeons and stuff. The firefly thingy, that's called the illuminator. And what you need to do is get 5 purple thermal fish, and you can get those from fishing out of like so in the desert biome, so like this lake, that obviously is right outside the desert and is actually in the grasslands. So you need to find a lake that's in a desert. Like I think even this little part right here counts as a lake, because I think this counts as a river in the desert and has different fish, I think. So you need to find, like, this would count as a desert lake. This would count as a desert lake. This is definitely, obviously, it's a completely enclosed desert lake. But that's where you'll find purple thermal fish the most. Pikmin, trust me, I caught every legendary fish, and one of the times we did it, I think who was it? Guy from Neptune, I believe. He did a PowerPoint spreadsheet, or not a PowerPoint, a Excel spreadsheet as I was fishing, and every time I caught a fish, he would record where I caught it, what time of day it was, and all of the other stats. And when we were going into the thermal fish, we found that all the thermal fish were actually able to be caught during the day and the night, pretty much 50-50. Because I ended up catching like a ton. I have probably over 200, I think, purple thermal fish. And from our spreadsheet that we did, I mean, it could have changed. Yeah, I know, I'm a nerd. It could have changed with the Lost Isle or the Storm King update How's it going, by the way, Brave? It could have changed with the Storm King update, but when we were looking, all the thermals were like a 50-50 split between day and night. So what did I need over here? I can't remember why I came back here now. There was a reason. Oh, I wanted to get a battle bus supplies, that's for sure. Went through 5 fishing bowls. Yeah, sometimes is a little rough. I think we need 3 of these for a station. They always change up the materials on stuff that right when I start to remember it. They have metal plates, planks, and slabs. But how many? Because I only want to grab what I need. 4. And then how many slabs? 2. And then how many planks? 6. I'll play this until I can't anymore, and then I'll watch. Yeah, seriously. As an 80-year-old too. Brave, yeah. Brave's 80. Oh, dude, Brave, while you're here, did you notice? Yes, the sleep mode shirt. Did you notice that we are both in the item shop right now? I was hyping you up the other day at the end too, because I was like, use creator code Epic Bricks. Definitely if you buy Peely Bone or anything else. But I'm like, if you do buy Triggerfish out of the item shop, go throw that creator code to Brave Builds. Because, yeah, they got us like right there. Peely Bone and Triggerfish in the same shop? Are you kidding me? Your favorite LEGO Fortnite duo available in the item shop today? Use code Epic Bricks if you get Peely. Use code Brave Builds if you get Triggerfish. What? Shameless plug for me and the homie? What? Yeah, signature style. I mean, those are technically signature styles from, like, their own book, but yeah. They know. And you know what I was also saying? I'm like, just imagine if they put AXO in there. Like, literally, if you scrolled, it went, like, Peely, AXO, Triggerfish, because right now it's like Peely, something else, and then Triggerfish is like right under that one on the list. But I'm like, imagine if AXO is in the shop. Then I would be like, I'd be so sus. I'd be like, dude, no, Epic is doing this on purpose. Right now it's like 2, like 1, sure. 2 is maybe a coincidence, but 3, now something's up. All right, what else? So I came out here for a bus station. What else? There was something else I needed to grab. I got all the stuff I need. What did I need from the base? Was there something I needed from the base, chat? I don't even remember now. I got distracted. I came back to the base for something. You know what else you can imagine? Not this one. This is my cut emeralds that I have still, and then this is my rough ones. All I remember is the bus stop. Oh, I do want to grab a new... I ran out of Baja Blast like 20 minutes ago, so I think maybe in the back of my mind I've been like trying to remember to go get another drink, and then that might be the thing I was thinking of that had something to do with my bits. I need a slurp juice, but IRL. Literally. No, I need my IRL snowberry shake. You guys know what my IRL snowberry shake is, right? It's a Red Bull, but it's the Juneberry flavor because the can is like a light blue and it's called Juneberry, so I call it my IRL snowberry shake because it keeps me alive. Although not so much as the one in the update, right? That one, it used to be the most meta food in the game, and now it's like, which is how it should have been. It's a what's it called? It's kind of like a utility item. You should be using it for hot, or like, you know, it's a snowberry shake, so you're using it to keep you cool in the hot. It shouldn't be used as a tool to keep you cool from being hot and one of the most meta healing things in the stuff. Love the shirt. Thank you. It's actually a LEGO Fortnite shirt. Oh, Brave. Also, I showed chat. I'm going to do some giveaways with the, I got 3 of these I'm going to give away later this month. But then I also got an extra one of these hats that they gave us. I got, I think Carlos, yeah, Carlos is, it ended up giving me his. And so I have 2 of them, so I'm going to give away the second hat. And then I grabbed like 3 of these. I grabbed like one of them for me, one of them for my girlfriend, and then one of them to give away. So I grabbed one of the Peely, Adventure Peely shirts from Denmark, and I'm going to give one of those away. But I figured that would be a really fun combo to share with everybody, since I did get some extras, like duplicates, that I've got it covered in my collection, so now I can give one away, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I meant to show you. Oh, that's the other thing I meant. Okay, that's what it was. I meant to show everybody the Legendary collection. Stick them up. Put the money in the bag, see? That's probably what I meant to remember to do. Is look at the glorious... I got every legendary combo in expert mode. It has been done. You have to rift them, right? I mean, I've already done that, but yes, that's how you would do it. However, all of these are already rifted and powered up. No, you add gems to the... Are you talking about the rift crystals? So... If you're wondering about that, so check it out. I could show you technically right now. I don't need to rift this. This dagger is already rifted, so charging this up will make it legendary eventually. This is an epic one that hasn't been rifted yet. And what I would do is I would take 3 of these crystals, open up the legendary forge, and then I would actually... I'm not going to do it because I'm going to get more use out of this pickaxe. But then I would rift it, and then it would restart the durability bar to 0, and then you would use it to charge it up to make it into a legendary. So I've actually already done that with every single legendary combination in the game. Aside, gem-based, I need to still premise it with that. Gem-based legendary combination. Because just yesterday, I was able to finish the Shatterhorn plus gold. But just like this is ruby plus gold. So that's technically just one category of all the possibilities. So I've done all these ones, but technically for Shatterhorn, it'll take me a lot longer to do. But there's Shatterhorn and gold, but then there would also be Shatterhorn and iron, just like there's ruby and iron. And then there's copper, frostpine, mahogany, flexwood, knot-root, and regular wood. So essentially, this is just the first set of 8 different sets for one type. So yeah. But yeah. So Alejandro, so these are already rifted and leveled up. Every single one of them. Unless, of course, somehow still I missed one like the other day. Will you go? Wait, what do you mean? How to craft the glowing equipment for your character? You just need... So it's a lower rarity tool. But if you want, like, a glowing sword, you need to use Bright Core as the top, but it only makes it a green level sword. So then you would do... So, like, this sword would glow if you make it with Bright Core on the top. If you did this dagger would glow if you put Bright Core on the top. And again, same with all of them. This spear would glow. Doesn't matter what you put on the bottom, but if you use Bright Core as the top, it'll make it glow. Or, I believe there's... I think you can do that to any weapon. There's a rune for that, right? Isn't it called, like, Illumination 2 or something? Yeah, Illumination 2. So, really, if you want an epic or a legendary tool that glows, you could absolutely apply that. So I guess, like, do I have anything? So, like, we could take this one right here, and we could go... We can look for Illumination 2. So I guess that's the other way around it. I totally forgot about that till just now. Illumination 2 is... It's as high... I don't think there is no Illumination 3, so Illumination 2 is the highest. It'd be funny if all your key holders... Oh, God. I don't have any key holders. What are you talking about? Delete them. Come on, I just need Illumination 2. There it is. So I could apply Illumination 2 to this dagger. And now I've got a glowing... Oh, it looks like that does stack with the, Hold on. It looks like that light does stack with the illuminator. Unlike the torch. You know how the torch doesn't stack when you take out the torch, the fireflies go away? But if you have an it looks like it does kind of stack the light. It does. You can't really tell out here, but I could tell inside when I pulled it out. But yeah, you can, and let's see what it looks like without the illuminator on for a second too. So like, it's not really that bright, but I guess in a super dark cave, like that would be helpful. And then let's see, like, so here's illuminator, or no illuminator. And then here's, like, it stacks a little bit with the illuminator. It doesn't make it too much brighter, but it's definitely stacking. But yeah, you can essentially make any weapon glow if you wanted to. Yo, Marky, how's it going? Alright, I'm gonna grab a water, and then we'll start getting the actual museum started over at Ground Zero. Be right back. Dance party. I will say this shirt, I threw it through the dryer on accident. It did shrink a little bit, but it got a little short on me, but it's still comfy. It's not really a shirt I wear out and about. It's a cozy shirt anyway. Okay, so not muted, right? No, we're good. Let me think if there's anything I should bring back to the base. I got tons of planks. We should be good. Fastest way to rift a weapon or tool. So once you rift it, so you're talking about after you apply the rift crystals, right? Like after you've already rifted it. The fastest way is to go into the storm caves. And technically there's a wall in there. There's some walls in there that are what I'm calling soft spots. So normally, you know, when you hit a wall and you just bounce off and it doesn't actually charge the weapon, go into a storm dungeon. Near the entrance of the dungeon, you're going to see some rock walls. Kind of just play around in the dungeon. Just like go up to different walls in the dungeon. Eventually you should find a certain kind of wall that lets you hit it. Even though it's just a stone wall. It's like a rock wall. It'll let you hit it. Like with actual, like it'll do the charge damage. Or like if it wasn't rifted, it would be doing durability damage. But you can just hit the wall as fast as this. So if you had a dagger, you would be charging it with every hit. So go to the storm dungeons and like look the wall. They're kind of like two different kinds of rock walls in the dungeon. And there's a certain kind of rock wall that just lets you hit it forever. So like you can like Just every hit, bing, 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 charge, 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 and then boom, turns into the legendary. That's technically the fastest way. And they could patch it. It's probably not intended, so. Which vehicle? This is the right one. Okay, so... Oh, I brought the bus station stuff, so we should be good. Oh, the IRL Storm King section? I think I put it back on. I think I put it back on the shelf. Got it. I also have the, I need to put it, like, in the guide section of my Discord or something, because I do have the instructions and parts list. And I guess I could, like, type up a little mini guide on how to download the parts list and get it up to Bricklink so you can order the parts. How should I start it from first starting a world? Really, there's not really a wrong way. Like, don't worry about trying to, like, be a speedy, effective. If you're just starting the game, honestly, I would kind of just play around and make villages. But, like, technically, like, if you want to be real, get down to it, like, building a village in a... So when you spawn into your world, let's say you spawn, like, over here, right? Let's say you're, like, let's say you'll get a different setup for your world, obviously. But let's say you spawn in right here. Well, you'll look around, and since there's no desert... obviously over here because there's no land over there, you would start in the grasslands, or actually I think you technically start on the Lost Isles these days. So making a village here to start isn't a bad idea. You can get pretty much everything you need, but like at a certain point it's a little advantageous to find a spot on the mainland to set up your main base. Making sure I'm not taking damage. So that way you're inside of a grasslands with your main base, kind of, and then you have, or you can set up the main base wherever. As long as you find an area, you see how it's grasslands, desert, frostlands, and they're really close to each other. That's a really good spot to, like, set up shop, essentially. But it's not necessary. It makes your life easier when you're going back and forth between the different biomes to collect stuff. But again, at the beginning, it's not gonna, like, make or break your world. It'll just, like, make your convenience level different. What's the best way to make weapons legendary? Because if I just go hit a mountain, it does the animation. Like I said, you need to go into a storm dungeon if you want to cheese it. The storm dungeons have, like, bugged, glitched out rocks, whatever you want to call it. So it's not just any... You can't just go up to any mountain or rock or wall and do it. I think it's just... And I think someone said there was some in the desert that did the same thing. But I know that there's spots in the storm dungeons for sure where you can do that. But also, if you're trying to level up more legendaries, here's what I would do instead. Because, like, you probably also are in a situation where you probably want more rift crystals, right? And you want more Eyes of the Storm, right? So what I would do, instead of hitting the wall... Go into the storm dungeons, even if you already cleared it for the day. Go to one of the break 3 crystal layers. The enemies inside of there will respawn forever. Even if you beat the dungeon for that day or not, those enemies will respawn very quickly forever. So what I recommend to do is take, like, let's say you have a rifted dagger. Like, let's say this dagger was rifted. Go into a dungeon with a couple of rifted weapons that you need to upgrade, and go into the storm dungeon where the break 3 crystal layer is, and just fight enemies for like 30, 40 minutes. Not only are you rifting your weapon, or like, you know what I mean, by hitting the enemies, but because you're taking out the storm enemies, those enemies inside of the dungeon caves, they actually drop rift crystals and Eyes of the Storm. So technically, if you want to be the most efficient, leveling up, so you'd be leveling up your rifted weapon at the same time that you're farming rift crystals in Eyes of the Storm. Those enemies also drop storm fruit nectar shakes and storm fruit in general. And what you'll also be getting the whole time is essence. So if you really want to be like, the hitting the rock way is efficient as far as speed. It favors speed in the efficiency. But if you really want to be an efficient farmer and leveling that up, I would recommend doing what I said and just, instead of hitting a wall, which doesn't get you anything because you're just hitting a wall, you could just hit enemies that give you good stuff anyway. The only reason I did the wall method is because I was doing something a bit crazy and overboard, and that was ultimately saving me, like, quite literally probably like 20 hours. But for 1 or 2 weapons, like, I would say just farm through the dungeons. Bonbon, if you go to my TikTok profile, at the top, you'll see a playlists kind of tab thingy, like near my bio. I have a building tutorials playlist. I have a bunch of different car tutorials and flying machine tutorials, so you can take your pick, my friend. I try to make the tutorials really easy to follow. I also try to make the vehicles that I build for the tutorials, like, easy to make, and also hopefully cost, like, the, you know, maybe not the absolute least amount of materials, but it's not some giant Lamborghini, you know, and that's amazing. Trust me, not to, like, talking down on anybody who builds really complicated builds, but, you know, it's not like you're trying to follow the instructions for, like, some of, like, some crazy Lamborghini LEGO Fortnite build or something. Like, this vehicle actually is one of the ones I have a tutorial for. So, like, this vehicle is my favorite that I've built. It's, like, my go-to, and I have a bunch of different tutorials for, like, a few different variations of it. But I also have, like, a 10-chest hauler tutorial that has, like, if you want more chests on a vehicle, I got a video for that. I got a video for a lot of things, so I think that's most of the stuff cleared out. I don't necessarily need that there, but let me get an idea of the spacing here. It's going to be hard. I need to get an aerial view, but there is no flying in expert mode, so let's kind of... I just need to get a perspective. No, I don't care about the village perimeter. I just need to see the area that I have to work with here. So visually, I remember our T shape, our initial build, like it's going to take up that much space, but then that extension, it's going to go from probably like, it's going to be pretty long going this way. I'm probably overestimating it, but I might have to clear out some trees, or I build it out more that way and go over that thing and just cover it up. But I kind of want to show that. It kind of looks cool on the outside. So I'm thinking I kind of start the base here, and then those 8 shapes will extend out probably like right about there and right about there. It'll kind of depend, but I think that's the way. And I could also build it on a 45 compared to where it is, which is also a good idea. Yeah, if I build it on a 45, the whole thing, like the main structure, going like more this way instead of like squared the other way. I don't know, there's so many options. So if we do it 45, no, I think I'm going to do it like, not that I need it off or on grid, but I think I'm going to do it like on the, like whatever this grid is here that I have set up. All right, let's move this out of the way. Shouldn't need most of this, but we'll see. So I kind of want to center it. Move. I could just delete this village too anyway, but I kind of want to keep the enemies away while I'm working. So I'm just going to tuck that. You know what? No, I'm going to just delete the village. Hold on. Okay. Not even, I kind of at night I'm gonna want to fight the bone wolves anyway, so. Sorry, I'm answering a lot less questions than I normally do. I'm working on a build project today, so I'm a bit distracted. I do apologize. I need to put up like another. I need to put up an actual Storm King guide so I can refer people to that when they ask about it. I don't need to pick all this up. I'm kind of just like weird, and I like to pick up the build site. I'm gonna be building over all of this, but I feel like it's also one of those things, like, if there is a chance at helping build complexity by removing this stuff, I don't know if it does. Like, if there's just one less twig or two less rocks sitting on the ground underneath my build, maybe that helps with build complexity, maybe it doesn't, but... Alright, so this is where the POI was, so this is where the middle of the flatness would end up starting. So let's start... How high do we want this to be? Yeah. Probably like 3 high. Because I'm worried about that hill if I go too far back. Like how high, how many spaces high is that? You know what I mean? But I might not even have to go back that far. That's Halloween Town. That's a nightly wide. That's the Majestic. I really like this one. This one has way more texture to it. So I'm gonna use these ones. So this is right about where we would start to hit the... This is why I was curious about how high I needed to make this. This is plenty far back enough. Because the rest of it, like I said, is downhill on that half. So if it ends up extending more that way, or more that way, or more even that way, it'll clear just fine. So I think this is where I'll probably make the absolute back of this build.
Thank you for your patronage.
Like right here. Yo, Tominator! With the 3 months. Let's go. Yeah, I only have 2 storm dungeons in my world. Yeah, I've got 2 of them. I need to bring... Oh, I should have brought a forest axe to clear some other stuff just in case I needed to. Can I break this tree with this? No, right? No. That's about how far back... Yeah, I need to go grab an axe. I didn't even think about that. Hold on. Maybe I can make one. The benefit of the new building system is sometimes you don't need too much stuff to actually build something you need. Oh wait, that was for my bus station, I think. Right? Oh no, I need to build that before I accidentally use the materials for it. Swords and spear are great. I prefer the spear though. There. I just wanted to make sure I didn't use that material, but I'm like, I can use a crappy axe for just a couple of trees, to be honest. No, I don't know about the crossbow glitch. I don't worry about too many. There's only very few quote-unquote glitches that I actually ever use myself. What's the crossbow glitch? Oh, I should go out. This is a regular wolf, but I should go out bone wolf hunting now that it's nighttime. Oh, how did I not dodge that? Yeah, let's go. We're gonna go looking for skeleton wolves real quick. I need to grind up some cursed bones. Or rather, collect some cursed bones in this world. Look at you. Oh, this is not the spear I'm meant to be using, or the dagger. I have a better one on me. Come back here. Oh, why didn't it let... I do 2 rolls in a row, and then the second one, like, literally bugs out. Come back. If you turn your back to them, they'll usually come at you. Ow. That's sneaky. But I'm just going to drive around when it's nighttime while I'm building here to get some cursed bones. Yeah, spears are fantastic. I do like the dagger, though, for fighting wolves, because it does do good damage, and then the second they turn around, you get backstab damage. Like, watch if I can actually correctly dodge this guy. So, like, here, we're going to dodge, hit him in the back for, like, ridiculous amounts, and then he's going to hit again, and we're going to hit him for 23 apiece. So, like, then they're annoying. Like, you really don't chase them down anyway. It's better to just turn your back on them, and then eventually they'll run at you, and then you just roll by, backstab, backstab. They're absolutely destroyed. Hey, I got double cursed bones. I got 4 off that one. But that's my, the dagger is good in certain, if you can get consistent backstabs in on an enemy. The Storm King, you can't backstab. But any enemy that turns their back to you for a decent amount of time is, in my opinion, better. Because then you get, it only does 9 normally, but if you're backstabbing, you get a lot more. So it's only beneficial if you're doing the backstabs. The reason you saw more on the other one, if it's Storm Wild, it's going to do bonus, since I have Stormbane on here. So that wasn't technically a Storm Wild glowing wolf. That was just a regular glowing wolf. So against Storm Wild enemies, this says, since it has Stormbane on it, it'll do even more. So that's not a glowing wolf, but it's not Storm Wild either, but it still does essentially more damage than the sword can if you're doing backstabs, and if you're rolling right on the I got double off that too, because non-glowing wolves drop 1 curse bone, glowing wolves drop 2 curse bones, and I have luck on this dagger, so they do have the chance to drop double. So that's how I hunt for most of the animals if I need to farm them, is you turn visual sound effects on, so that way you can see exactly where they are without actually having to see them. I have a sapphire spear with a gold handle. It has Stormbane 3, damage 3, lifesteal 3, and luck 3. Oh god. It's gonna be daytime any second here. Come here, buddy. I feel like night. I wish you can sleep to skip day. Like if you wanted to just keep skipping to the 5-minute night cycle, I wish it would let you. Because, like, I want to be able to just, like, farm skeletons, but you only get 5 minutes per night. So, like, as soon as you see these guys go underground, it's, like, all over for me. The sun's got to be coming up, like, any second now. Oh, I hear one, or I see one. I don't know how I didn't physically see it. Oh, yep, and it's gone, and it's daytime. What's up, babe? About an hour from now. Maybe I can cut it a little bit short if you need me to. Okay. Well, you heard it here, folks. Heather's asking for a slightly early departure from tonight's stream. Which is kind of not terrible, because I'm, like, just getting started on this project in the actual expert world. So let me do a few more things here, and I will oblige Heather and call it a little bit early tonight. Just a wee bit. Oh! Damn, I love that. Ah, I can't see anything. Yeah, I was going Madero. Where's my other base? Am I driving at it? Oh yeah, I deleted it, so it's just a bus station now. How many bones? I got 13 in one night. That's not terrible, but I wish I could just keep going to night cycle and just keep getting curse bones. But hey, maybe they want it to be more rare or more like... Oh, a bear. I'll take on a bear. I need... if you see a bear, you should probably fight it if you're in expert mode and you're confident with it. Reason being is they drop bear pelts, and bear pelts are what you need to make return totems. See, like, for bears, the dagger's not very good. The sword or the spear would be way better for a bear. But for wolves, if you're farming out wolves, I swear the dagger's definitely better for wolves. Yes, sleep through day mode. I don't get it. Oh. If you have 3 crossbow, use it like a double. Oh, yeah. I don't even think that's a bug. That's kind of like a feature. In a way. I did see Spixie talking about that the other day, where if you have like multiple crossbows, if you have 1, 2, 3 crossbows in your quick bar, you can go shoot, 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 and then by the time you get back to the first one, I think the first one is like auto reloaded, so you can go pew, 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 like that. Is that what you're kind of talking about? Yeah, it's more of a strat. I mean, it could be unintentional, right? They could not have meant for them to auto-reload in your bag. That could be a bug, for sure. Or like an unintentional thing, and they could patch it. But for now, that actually doesn't really sound like I would use that, now that I know about it. Like, to be honest, that doesn't sound like game-breaking. That actually sounds like semi-intentional, and if it wasn't intentional, it's still strategic in a way where I don't think it's, like, exploitive, right? But yeah, I've never tried it myself, but if it works just like I described it, that would actually be pretty sick. Also, what I should do, I don't think I brought actual... Wait, no, I have the sapphire and the metal from that other chest. So it's like I can start a little mini storage area that's up and out of the way. Just so I can store all the items I'm going to need to build this base, you know? So that way that when they're here, they're just here. That'll work for now. It's actually one of these chests. Hey, get out of here. All this miscellaneous stuff. There. And this is the actual building stuff. Don't you get tired or motivation loss? Not really. There's always something in this game that not only can I be building or something that I could be working towards. Like, at least for me, like collecting all the legendary items. That was a huge endeavor that most people probably aren't going to make. But for me, it's really enjoyable, so it's like another side quest in the game for me to do. And that's just one of many random side quests I could invent in my own head and then try to accomplish. Because there's not a lot of, like, in-game objectives other than, like, beating the Storm King. There's no official in-game objective to collect every legendary. But, for me, it's just one more thing to try to collect, essentially. So I'm pretty much ready to build for tomorrow. There shouldn't be too much I need outside of like all of that basic material just to get the skeleton going. But I'm pretty much going to wrap this up here. Heather's asking for an early night from me, and she doesn't always ask for me to end the stream early so we can hang out early. So whenever she asks, I generally tell her yes. Oh, wait, why did that go there? There. I just wanted a quick little ramp up here. So let's get the general floor. I'm gonna get the floor built up real quick here. Maybe I should build a village center. I don't want to have like a brute come up here and pop all this, because there is a brute spawn clearly right over there. I'll just build a village center here. Even though I don't need it, but I'm gonna need to build it somewhere so that way the enemies don't spawn all up in my face. Because he won't despawn immediately, but now next time I log in, since there's a village there, it should cut off enemy spawns in this area. Otherwise, I'll just have to be mindful and make sure he's not coming over. But I think after I build this village, this brute will probably never spawn again. Whoa! Pointed right into a punch there. Went for too many swings there. I ran out of food. That's okay. I think I can do the rest of this fight without that. Backstab, backstab, backstab. That's when it's really good on the brute, is when you can actually get the backstabs in. Just tons of damage. No, I can't gift you, sorry. Why is the compass gone from the game? Why can we no longer... Because they built it in. Now it's just a regular part of the game. You see how I have a compass, but I don't actually have one equipped? They decided to take it out as an item, even though it's still in your inventory if you have one. But you don't need to craft it anymore. It's just a built-in part of the feature, built-in feature of the game now. See, if I go this way, is it going to hit any of these hills? That's what I also got to watch out for. Okay, so maybe... Where will work? Hold on. Does that go over? Mostly. Yes, I could have brought a better axe. I just didn't think about it. Alright, let's see. That one's like barely clipping the floor, but I think it'll make it over ultimately, so that can be our back. I'm lagging. The runes on the dagger are luck 3, damage 3, lifesteal 3, and Stormbane 3. So that brute was actually a Stormwild brute. So Stormbane actually counts for Stormwild enemies as well. So I have damage 3 that does extra damage, and then Stormbane 3, which will do even more damage if the enemy is Stormwild, like that brute happened to be. Also, I need to mark my middle wall real quick. Because, like, this is going to be the easiest way to mark my middles. It's like, if this is the middle right here, before I build more, this is the easiest way to tell where the middle of the base is actually going to start. So, like, right here, let's do a quick wall. And like I said, I'll be ending the stream here pretty quick, a little bit ahead of schedule. So I'll go spend some quality time with the missus. So let's just throw this. So technically what that would be center. There's really no way to actually center it, right? Because it's uneven. It'll either be off to the one space or one of the other, right? So yeah, there's... Yeah, it is centered. That's centered. Okay. So like this is where the first shelf will go for like the first rack of weapons. Now, I think there was a different wall I could have used that looked a little bit slightly different. Oh yeah, it was this 2x8. I like the way that one looks a lot better. Not that it matters right now. This is just a placeholder again to make sure I have the middle set up. Because this will have to be like the absolute back. I might even bump it up a little bit, but we have pretty much everything. I got all the little dimensions written down from when we did it in Sandbox. And now, tomorrow when I stream, we'll be ready to get this thing replicated, because this will be the back legendary wall. Actually, you know what I should also think about with this base before I pick the overall direction? And this is something I haven't ever thought about before I built a village before, but I should start, is which direction is the sun going to hit it from most of the time? If it's setting right now, right? Which I think it actually sets in the west in this game, just like it does in IRL. So I believe every day it does set right there in the west. So that means it should rise this way to the east. So the sun should rise here and then go over us and then be setting right where it is. So I think the way I have it set up will be best then, because that means the sun will be shining.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
And then when the sun is rising in the morning from over there, it should be hitting this legendary wall, like, perfectly, right? So the way I have it set up now, I think, is the direction it is. It's going to catch the sun for most of the day. So that's like before you get building, you almost want to think about what's the crown jewel going to be of my village, and is that part of the village going to get, you know, again, it's not a make or break for your village, but since some of my villages that I've built, I'm like, well, sheesh, if I could just rotate the whole darn thing like 45 degrees, it would be so much more photogenic being in the sun. You know what I mean? No, not every legendary again. Well, I wouldn't have to. So this is my expert world. Now we're in my expert world. I just have to move all the legendaries from over here to over here eventually, which won't be too bad. But I will have to make every epic purple one again, which will only take like 20, 30 minutes of sitting there at my crafting bench remaking all of them, because I don't have to rift or level those ones up. The legendary grind was the ridiculous part, because you have to find rift crystals to rift them and then use them to level them up. Whereas like when I remake all the epics again, that'll just be crafting them and then they're good to go again. So we've got the overall, this is literally like the ultimate skeleton for the build that we're going to do. I've got the first wall centered, and then I just need to figure out how much I want these walls spaced out, and I can kind of do that in the sandbox world before, because I also kind of want to, you know what, no, because I can make this the exact back and I'll figure it all out, because I just needed the spacing for all the weapons and tools figured out for the start, and then the rest of it I will like wing it, so to speak. So I think I'm going to call it here for the night. Let me just real quick do a couple more support beams here, just so I don't make an accident later and then be like, oops. So let's do just like a little support there. A little support there. We just don't want to accidentally break something at some point. Like one of these floors. And then imagine if I like imagine if that was the only support for all these floors. What if I accidentally am up here one day? Like here. And what if I were to accidentally go, oh, jump attack and break this floor, but also break the support below it, and then the rest of it just falls down? So I usually like to make a few safety points. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be there for just in case I go and break this piece. Now that whole part didn't fall off. You know what I mean? It's like it's a safety measure. If I break something, I never have to replace too much. You don't want to break something and have the whole darn thing fall off. So that, and then after I get it going and get other, like, if I have a bunch of stairs that are planted into the ground, then I don't have to worry about it too much either, but... To live on an island, if you own Beachside Boulevard from the item shop, that's a great island theme to go with. Honestly, an island, if you use the shack stuff on an island, it's more of like a we're lost on an island kind of vibe. But you can use like the shack and the dock parts for a good island kind of build. Honestly, even the cabin stuff on an island. If you're on an island and you only, these are free parts. So the cabin stuff on an island would be great. Honestly, if you have the Star Wars stuff from the Star Wars Lego Pass, honestly, because this matches, it would be like kind of like a sandy vibe, just doing like a Mos Eisley build. And then also from the most recent Lego Pass before the one we have now, doing some sort of Nana Village like on an island would be a fantastic build. Honestly, on an island, these builds would come in clutch. The tutor builds from building, you get these from leveling up a level 10 Lost Isles village, but these would end up looking really good on an island. You have lots of choices, but these here, this is the shack part, so these ones would look good on an island. You could even do, like, if you have the Battle Pass pieces again, if you have the Tomato Town or the Tomato Temple pieces, these would probably make pretty kick-ass island build as well. You have lots of options. What do you think about living on an island? You just heard me. Living on an island would be fun in this game. You got lots of building options to live on an island. I am answering your question, not directly, but like I'm going off with it, but you don't have to buy everything. Like I said, this one, I think this one and this one were free, and then these ones were Lego Pass, like premium. When they do Lego Passes, there are free stuff that you unlock from each Lego Pass. These parts are free. All of these ones are free. Like all of these Shoguns are free. The Salty Seaport's free besides this one. This one's technically out of the item shop, but like the Tutor Workshop, this is all free. The Rebel Survival stuff is free that you can still unlock by doing the Star Wars content on Star Wars Island. I can't remember which ones of these are free from the pass. I think it's this one that you get for free from the current Lego Pass, but then a couple of the other these are from the premium part of the pass. The Pleasant Park builds are all free. The Nana Jungle, again, this one came from the free part of the pass, and then a couple of them were part of the premium pass. And then again, like, I think it was, you got, this was free in the Star Wars pass. I know that, although you can't get it now because it's already gone. But this was free in the Star Wars pass. The rest of these came out of the premium. Majestic Manors, these are all free. You get these ones from leveling up a village in the desert. All the log cabin stuff is free. You get that for leveling up a village in the grasslands. Lockie's Lighthouse, that is an item shop one. These ones are all item shop ones. The Imperial Survival ones are all free from doing Star Wars content. I believe it was this one was the free part of the last Battle Pass. But then these ones were part of the premium ones, these other houses. And then this is item shop, this is item shop. And then I don't know which ones are premium and which ones are free, but these ones are all earned through the Battle Pass that's active right now. I can't remember which ones are free and which ones are paid at this point. All the fishing dock prefabs and parts are free. Durr Burger is another item shop one. Daily Bugle is an item shop. Beachside is an item shop. And Anarchies is an item shop. So I would argue if I counted every single one of them, I think there's about 50% of everything that exists is free, and then the other 50%. And it might be a little, might be like 45, 55, 60, 40. But either way, it's a pretty good split of everything that's available. About half of it's free, which I think is a fair distribution on a free-to-play game. Half of everything available is earnable for free just by playtime. And then because it's a free-to-play game, the other half of it is, like, you know, paid. So I think that's a fair, like, you got to realize, dude, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 32 years old. Do you know what I would have killed for any free live service on an updated schedule? Maybe not be as fast as updates as everybody wants, but when I, you know, and not to say like GoldenEye and Super Smash Brothers weren't good games, but if we wanted those games, we had to get our parents to buy them for us. And getting your parents to buy a $60 to $80 game, it's not an easy thing to do when you're a kid and your parents are middle class or lower. So it may not seem fair, but like, dude, this is, if I had, like, we're spoiled now. We're just spoiled little brats in modern gaming. Like, back in the day, there were, like, free games, but let me tell you, they were not, there was no, I don't think in the 90s and early 2000s, there were not very many worthwhile free games. Like, it wasn't RuneScape free. Like, but, like, back in, like, this is really a crazy amount of stuff that they give us for free. Without, just for not having to pay anything. Yeah, Minecraft's not that much. No. And then you get all the updates after that. But that's one example. Like, if you play, like, even Grand Theft Auto, I think they had every update. Didn't you have to pay for something for extra expansions at some point? Yeah, I was going lady together. I actually got to log off. It's about that time. We got the skeleton of the museum, castle, courtyard, display, build ready to go in my expert world, but I'm not going to be able to make any headway on this till tomorrow anyway, and Heather wants ya boy off the game a little bit early tonight, so I'm going to oblige. Like, don't get me wrong. Could they add more free stuff? Yeah, I think they could. I think they could do to add more free stuff. But at the same time, it's a inevitability that there will be stuff to buy in the item shop. Right now, there's actually some... Wait, actually, hold on. What's all up in here? They're actually promoting LEGO Fortnite pretty good up here in these banners. But sometimes, like right now, if I can remember, I like to take screenshots of these, like in the highest resolution that I can. And these images might be on Google somewhere, but I like having these high-res images. Maybe not that one. But like this. That's a really cool high-res image for me to save for maybe one of my thumbnails one day. Like, I could always take screenshots of myself in-game, but it's really nice to have some of, like, the game, like this, getting a huge high-res screenshot of this tome book here. Super valuable for me as a content creator, just something I can use and reuse in the future. Like, these ones are cool, too. Like, I could take screenshots of these, but they aren't as, like, pertaining to the game directly. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt me to take screenshots of those ones. But, like, this one I like because it's super Odyssey related. This one's obviously Odyssey related, and then this one's Odyssey related. Oh, Brave Bill's Beyond. Well, he did say he was going to hop on or something. Let's do it. Oh, wait, what's tonight? He's doing his community game night. That's what he's doing. Let's say, I know he's online for a reason. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. We're gonna get the raid loaded up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for everybody on TikTok, highly appreciate all the support. However, it'd be awesome if you came and checked me out on Twitch. Same username, Epic Bricks on Twitch, and I'm also live on YouTube right now. Same name as well. So you guys can catch me on TikTok like you are, but if you want to come over to Twitch or YouTube, same username. Highly appreciate it if you come show some support over there. But no matter what platform you are, if you buy anything out of the item shop ever, and you're not supporting a Fortnite creator in the item shop when you are making your purchases, code EPICBRICKS. Highly appreciated if you keep me in mind before you make any purchases. Just go to the bottom, click there, type in code EPICBRICKS, and it doesn't do any sort of discount for you, but it does, again, support the creator that you type in the code for. And if you guys want to catch me tomorrow on any of those platforms, I stream every day on all 3 of those platforms, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, every day from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Today I'm ending at about 9:30 p.m. Eastern, so cutting it short a little bit early today, but normally you can catch me from between 6 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern, and tomorrow I will be live during those times, absolutely. So I stream daily. I generally don't take days off. So let's get that raid going over to Brave started. Get him going, get him going. Did you get to 307 just from LEGO? Yeah, I play a little BR here and there, but yeah, like majority LEGO easily. But yeah, we'll be back building the display castle museum build tomorrow. It's nice to get back to building. I like planning stuff out. I like building, and once I get going, you can't stop me. I'll be building this for the rest of the week and perfecting it and making it look beautiful and all that kind of stuff. So definitely make sure you check out the streams later this week. I'm going to be building some pretty cool stuff that will, by the end of it, be extreme. You thought having all my legendaries in one spot was satisfying. Just wait till I have every weapon and wall mountable item in the game on display in one area. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. I'm the collector for sure, and in this game, no different. So I'm out of here. We're raiding over to Brave. Have a good night, guys. I'm out of here, Twitch. And then we just ended this live on Twitch. We just raided over to my buddy Brave Builds. Shout out to Brave Builds here on TikTok as well, if someone wants to tag him real quick here before I get us ended. But Brave Builds is another amazing builder and LEGO Fortnite streamer, content creator. He's live right now, I think, doing his community game night, playing some BR with his community. So I just sent over my Twitch chat via raid. But for those of you here still on TikTok, one last, hopefully, plug for myself. But we're almost done. Just check me out on Twitch next time, and I'll be a happy man. But all right, for my YouTube and my TikTok people, I'm out of here. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow.